voice of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. Landon Schmidt producing. We're Sports Time. We're with you today for the next 2.5 hours. A little bit of a shorter shows. We've got Ole Miss basketball coming up with the pregame show at 5:30 for a 6 o'clock tip. Home game for Ole Miss against Alabama. We'll talk a lot of college basketball today throughout the show. A couple guests joining us to talk some college hoops. We'll talk about what happened last night, the slate for tonight, a lot of college hoops talk. We'll talk some NBA as we're getting closer and closer to the All-Star break. The Grizzlies back in action tonight against the Denver Nuggets. And I was thinking about this earlier because I think tonight was one of those games that got moved because the schedule that I have very handy next to me, the 2025-26 calendar that came out before the season started, has this game at 9 o'clock tonight. On ESPN, it's showing an 8 o'clock tip time tonight, so I'm assuming an 8 o'clock start tonight for the Grizzlies and the Nuggets. So we'll talk a lot about that. We'll talk a lot about the NBA, everything else going on around the sports world. So a busy show today, but Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing great. It feels like a football Friday for me when it's a basketball Wednesday. I'm in Oxford where I stay for football, and I can attest that Charles Bediako is not with Alabama because the Alabama team is staying here, and he would kind of stand out. He is not here.
Well, good. I'm glad that he's no longer with the team. I'm glad that you have gotten eyes on him and can confirm that to us, and hopefully a good game we get tonight between Ole Miss and Alabama. We'll see. I'm sure there will be a lot after the game from Nate Oates about Charles Bediako not playing, but certainly an opportunity for Ole Miss to get a big home win tonight.
And, Brian, I am very sorry to have to start the show with really breaking news from college football. Very sad news, and I know a lot of fans in this area will join in the somberness and in the sadness of what is breaking as we speak. The Detroit Bowl, as we know, is over.
Oh, yeah.
29-year run. Motor City Bowl,
news.
Little Caesars Bowl, Quick Lane Bowl, Game Above Sports Bowl. Yeah. I called it the December 26th Bowl.
Okay.
Because that's where it always fell.
Yeah, I like that.
And that is a nightmare day for sports broadcasting and programming. But this calendar year 2026 that we're in, the day after the 26th, the day after Christmas, that's on a Saturday. That will be big NFL day.
Yeah.
We don't need you programming. We don't need you Little Caesars Bowl. We don't need you Detroit Bowl.
No.
I went to the inaugural Motor City Bowl, the Detroit Bowl.
Wow.
Ole Miss and Marshall flew out on Christmas night with my best friend from Little Rock, and we flew out, and nothing on the plane but Ole Miss fans. Ole Miss was bowl starved to go to any bowl after being on probation for a couple years, and Tommy Tuberville finally gets Ole Miss in a bowl game and go up and play Randy Moss, and it was out at the Silverdome. And from downtown Detroit to the Silverdome, if you think the Super Bowl was no more in San Francisco being in Santa Clara, the Detroit Bowl was no more in Detroit being out at the Silverdome, man, it felt like we went to Canada to get out there to the game. And the road, you think we got potholes. I'm not kidding you. You could lose people in those potholes going out there to that. Great game, though. A big Ole Miss win, and I also went up the day after Christmas, up and back same day year with University of Memphis fan plane. I was allowed on it. Can you believe it?
How about that?
And went up to D'Angelo Williams' last game and got back home that night, walked in on a burglar in my house. So my two trips to Detroit have been very interesting.
Wow. Yes, very interesting to say the least. But, yeah, that's what now the third bowl game that will not return for 2026.
Oh, we're up to three?
We're up to three. Bahamas obviously not returning as they kind of had the late scratch last year.
Really weren't in the Bahamas last year.
Yeah, they turned into the Xbox Bowl. That is no longer. The LA Bowl is no longer, and now the Detroit Bowl no longer. So up to three.
Never went to LA Bowl, never went to a Bahamas Bowl or an Xbox Bowl. I think Motor City is now the first one that I've been to that's no more. There are a lot of people in this area, a Arkansas fans, Ole Miss fans, Tennessee fans, LSU fans that they can remember going to the Bluebonnet Bowl and then Astro Bluebonnet Bowl at the Astrodome in Houston. I never went to it. I think this is the first one for me, though, to go toes up.
How about that? Well, you know what, Brett? I think we're going to be all right. I think
two trips to the Motor City Bowl.
I think
that in and of itself, does that secure my place in college football heaven?
I think so. I absolutely think it does. But yes, I think we'll survive with no more Detroit
that
Bowl.
doesn't, setting out a 2-hour rain delay in Nashville for Go Bows, Hawaii and Vanderbilt a few years ago.
Yes, and I'll get it done.
I think I get in no frills. I mean, no
I don't
red
think,
tape, no checking any.
I don't think there's a wait or anything. I think you get to the front of the line.
The big heaven, we got to go.
Well, yeah, but
we got some issues.
The college football heaven, though, I think you're front of the line. And,
I can hang out there a while we're going over all that at the other place. Couldn't I?
Look, if they need to get down to the paperwork and different things,
there's paperwork.
I think you've got a fine place to hang out at if that is the case. But
I could wait a while before it blows the horn, but I'll wait it out. I'll wait it out.
You'll wait it out in college football land. So
college football heaven over there.
Right.
My room.
That's right. That's exactly right. But so some interesting college football news for sure. We also got the.
Is that the market speaking, or the Times, or everything, and then some, and all that?
Yeah, I think it's the market speaking. I think you look at it.
It's going to speak louder.
Sure, and there's still a ton of bowl games remaining, and so I think getting rid of a handful is not the worst idea at all.
I don't know what the perfect plan going forward is. College football poobahs, they are really flying by the seat of their pants. Mm-hmm. It is a day at a time. It is a year at a time. It's just get to the first bracket reveal around Halloween next fall for the CFP. It just is. That's where we are, and I don't think, even with a commissioner and all the kind of the magic wand so many people want to wave over college football. It didn't get like this overnight, and it's not getting corrected overnight. But when we go to 16 with the popularity of the campus games now in the 12-gamer, I think it's going to be huge demand to play both, maybe the first 2 weekends on campus, and not fold in other bowls. And that's not going to increase other bowls' popularity. In fact, I think it's going to decrease it, because we're going to be just in a single bullet theory of make the playoffs or let's stay at home.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And it's going to be interesting to see where everything goes with the future of the college football playoffs, and especially when they make the change and go up from 12. There will definitely be a lot of questions around that. Other news we got earlier today, Shams Charania and then the NBA very shortly after reporting the suspensions from the Pistons and Hornets fight the other night. Man, they were handing out some suspensions. Jalen Duren, he gets
that wasn't any fight.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Nobody got decked.
The Pistons and Hornets game? Oh my gosh! Isaiah Stewart had Miles Bridges in a chokehold and was punching him in the head.
He was giving him the business.
He was giving him the business.
I thought it would just hold me back. Okay,
no. I mean, there were punches thrown. There was connection. I mean, that was a melee.
Jalen Duren pushed a guy in the face.
Yeah.
But now, compared to the Mouse.
Sure. No, it wasn't Mouse in the Palace, but it was.
And we can't have that.
No, it was certainly bigger than what you get. Sure. It was certainly bigger than what. No. I mean, you had guys full out swinging at each other, and a couple guys connecting, and like I said,
they better be glad somebody held Isaiah Stewart back.
Well, that was the problem, Brett, is unfortunately they didn't, and he got Miles Bridges in a chokehold and started kind of giving him the work to the face a little bit, and they were able to get him off that.
Boxers that wouldn't mess with him.
No. I would. Two guys.
There's NFL guys. Oh, yeah. A lot of NFL guys wouldn't mess with him.
I mean, look, Miles Bridges, he certainly has his history, but I think he's a fake tough guy. But he wanted to try to show it, I guess, the other night and go after Isaiah Stewart. So
that's how you enter basketball heaven.
That's right. Jalen Duren gets a 2-game suspension. That's the least of it. Moussa Diabate, he gets 4 games. Miles Bridges also gets 4 games. And Isaiah Stewart, he leads the way. As he was leaving the court, was screaming, "This is why Detroit brought me in." He gets a 7-game suspension.
Well, that's big.
That's big.
That is really big.
7 is significant.
Leaving the bench,
I'll do it.
Then, as you say, armbar.
Yeah, no, that'll do it. I mean, that.
I didn't know it got to real.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty serious.
I don't know how many of the punches connected, but there is a shot in the video where you see Isaiah Stewart get behind him and get his head locked, and then it looked like he was throwing some punches at him. So 7 games.
Stern doesn't want another one, and that's why this one's probably on the serious end, because we just can't ever get back to him.
Yeah,
and Mouse and Palace was one time, but it was one major.
Oh no, it was bad. And for Isaiah Stewart, I mean, now we're getting into. I know we've talked about it with him before, and we've certainly talked about it with other guys. But this is. Hey, this isn't the first time we've been here. We've done this a lot with you. We're going to tack on an extra game or two because you have a tendency to get angry and get to fighting, and we got to try to find a way to calm you down. And so we'll sit you on the bench for 7 games.
They don't want to lose anybody when they go into the playoffs because, look, in the all-important loss column, they are tied right now with Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City on their way to going undefeated and on their way to winning 70 games. Yeah. They may not have the best overall record come Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
Yeah, they might not.
They may not have a home court.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Detroit has been really, really fun to watch this year, and so you don't want to be going deep into the season without guys. So I think you go to Isaiah Stewart. Hey, I'm glad you had your guys' backs, but let's not do that anymore. Let's get through the rest of the season and try to not get into any more fights.
Nobody in the Grizzlies world has said this or even come close to insinuating. If they hadn't been close, a week ago today, Zach Kleiman spoke. Nobody has uttered this. He did say, not once but twice, it's not going to take 5 years. Isn't the Grizzlies' goal to be a 2-3 year Detroit plan?
Yeah, I think so. Now, I mean, Detroit has been, really, really interesting the way that it has worked out. I mean, let's not forget, that was the worst record of all time, and we're going into, how many games in a row are they gonna lose to start the season? What was that, 3 years ago now? So I don't know. I mean, you look at their best player, Cade Cunningham. He's now in his 5th season. And last year was really the turnaround
how many years
year.
Was they're playing.
Exactly. I mean, it's been really, really rough, and they were able to stockpile some of these picks and bring in some guys that really fit. So I mean, if you could try to speed that up and do something kind of similar, but this has been a kind of a more drawn out process for Detroit to get to where they were last year and now where they're at right now and playing really well.
I'm at their records. Ended the 20 season with 20 wins. Ended the 21 season with 20 wins. Yeah. Ended the 22 season with 23 wins. Ended the 23 season with 17 wins. The 24 season with 14 wins. Yeah. Well, that's 5 years there. Then into the 6th year, they win 44 last year, and now this year 39 and staring at winning 53, 54 games, aren't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it was really rough for Detroit.
7-year plan.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. But if you can find ways to speed that up,
if it's a 7-year plan for the Grizzlies, there won't be 1,800 people at the game.
No, there definitely won't be. And they're kind of the same. They went through a couple of coaches, in that stretch. They've gone through. They're now on, I believe, their 2nd general manager in that time with Trajan Langdon, who's been phenomenal as a general manager over there.
Great job. Worked in a Dookie reference.
Right, you know me.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
Well, I had to come back because I lost my my Dookie card yesterday. I forgot why I lost it.
For selecting Fog Allen.
No, I picked Cameron Indoor. There was something else that lost me my Duke card yesterday because I picked Cameron Indoor over Fog Allen, but there was something that lost it for me yesterday. But I gotta get it back.
We got a Dookie GM. How come we don't have Trajan Langdon?
Well, that's a great question.
I mean, he really played it, dude.
Yeah. No, I wish the Grizzlies had Trajan Langdon. He's been phenomenal
for Detroit. And regardless, I don't care who it would be from the West. that they would be matched up against. It's not going to be the Grizzlies. It wouldn't be if it was Grizzlies in there. But of the likely teams come June for the NBA championship, NBA finals, I'm pulling hard for J.B. Bickerstaff.
Yeah, no, I think a lot.
Another one that got the business by this bunch here.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of reasons if you're in Memphis to be rooting for the Pistons. Obviously, Bickerstaff, Jalen Duren. I think the team as a whole is a really fun team to get behind. Jaden Ivey. That's right. Yeah. Well, I guess Jaden Ivey's not there anymore, but yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, they kind of are the next gen and playing really well. So they're a fun story to keep an eye on, and maybe we see them make a big run in the postseason. Also, just real quickly, since we're talking NBA. Jason Tatum, he's practicing. I mean, how about that? Getting closer and closer
to miracle cure,
to a. I mean, it's insane. I mean, that
used to be get the room set up for retirement announcement.
Yeah, I mean,
now we've made a lot of progress, but that was, when did he get hurt? Late May?
Yeah, I mean, it was if not, I mean, it was late in the season when that happened, and so yeah, I mean, even just a couple years ago, it was a full 12 months, shut it down, probably even a little bit longer than that, a complete year off the next year, and now potentially.
And back very gingerly when you got back.
Yeah, that's right. So maybe we see him return this year for the Boston Celtics. Would certainly be a insane story for the Celtics and for Jason Tatum. But we've got a busy show today, so let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, we'll talk some college hoops. We'll talk about what happened last night. We'll talk about the slate tonight, some really interesting top 25 matchups tonight, and even some interesting results last night from those top 25 games. So we'll discuss that in our next segment at 3:30. 3:45, talk the NBA. Look at that slate tonight. It's tonight really the last full night. We've got, I believe, 3 games tomorrow night to wrap up the NBA before the All-Star break, but a full slate of games tonight, including the Memphis Grizzlies on the road against the Denver Nuggets. So we'll talk a lot about that, a lot about the slate of games tonight. 4 o'clock, Blake Lovell from the Southeastern 16. He'll join us. We'll talk some SEC hoops with him, a lot to get to, including the game that Brett will be in attendance for tonight between Alabama and Ole Miss. We'll talk about Charles Bediako, that decision by the court that he is no longer eligible for Alabama. 4:30, we'll get into the Grizzlies conversation. Again, they're in action tonight against Denver, so a lot to talk about with the Grizzlies. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, a shortened segment with Kevin Sweeney. We'll talk with him about 18 or so minutes about all things college basketball from Sports Illustrated. Go follow him on social media at CBB_Central. Then we'll get to an early Moe's Crunch Time at about 5:18, 5:19 or so, and then we'll get out of here a little before 5:30. Again, we've got Ole Miss pregame show tonight against Alabama for that 6 o'clock tip. We'll have the complete coverage pre, post, the game. We'll have it all right here on Sports 56. But let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The Floor Model Spa sale is going on right now at Family Leisure. It's time to make room. Deep discounts on over 100 display model and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, and cold plunges. Have you been dreaming about that new spa? Well, now is the time to buy. Spas as low as $99 a month. Over $1,000 in free upgrades with every spa purchased. $8,000 spas only $159 a month with free LED lights and waterfall on most models. So head out there, check them all out at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
We are Sports Time, and we're live and local and with you until about 5:30 today. And we want you to join us. He's Bryant. I'm Brett. Our producer is Landon Schmidt, and we want you to join us at 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. We're always live and local from our Family Leisure Studios, no matter where we are. It's like magic. Wherever we are, we're from our Family Leisure Studios, and this hour every day, it's like magic too. And we appreciate it so much. The good people at Lexus of Memphis been with us for a long, long time, sponsoring this hour. They are at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2026 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. You can call them at 901-334-9673, but they invite you to stop by the only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, and that's where you can put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2026 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience and the safe luxury driving experience. Online at LexusOfMemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it is the Grizzlies in action tonight. Their final game on this road trip, their final game before the All-Star break. I mentioned pretty much everybody going tonight in the NBA. There's 3 games tomorrow night, and then we'll be to the All-Star break. But tonight, against the Denver Nuggets, the Nuggets, a 14.5-point favorite right now for tonight's game. We talked yesterday about the Grizzlies PR status report for tonight's game, and it really came out just minutes after we got off the air last night. But the status report for tonight's game, Santi Aldama is the only guy that has been in and out of the lineup that is listed as out tonight with a right knee injury management. 2 players doubtful, Walter Clayton Jr. with a right calf contusion and Cedric Coward with right knee soreness. Both of those guys doubtful. Do not expect either of those guys to play tonight, but I do think with Cedric Coward, after seeing the way he left the game or before even halftime, I think there was only 2 seconds left before halftime, never returned to the game. I think a lot of people nervous about what that meant, what kind of injury it would be, and if he would be out for a long time. But I think seeing him listed as doubtful makes you think that it should be a quicker return, not seeing him listed as out, not seeing that report of him being reevaluated in a couple weeks. But we know what it will look like tonight. You will see a lot of the young guys, a lot of the two-way guys out there, but you will also get to see some of these pieces that could be around for the future. So it will be another one of those interesting games, and we'll see how it plays out tonight against the Denver Nuggets.
We will. My top story of the day, look at that tightly compacted American Conference race. Those standings, a 3-way tie for first in the all-important loss column, a 3-way tie for fourth in the all-important loss column. No clear leader and nothing resembling a second weekend team in this conference. So why can't it be Penny in this dreadful league? Why can't they emerge? He's the veteran coach of this league. Everybody agrees there's more money in the Tiger program with the Tiger roster than any other team in this league. And they're right there in it on February 11th. Why is the season being written off? Let's don't lower the bar anymore. We've already lowered the bar where a 6,000 crowd, well, that's pretty good. We had a pretty good crowd last night. No, it's not. That should be what's there in students, with about 9,000 sold in season tickets, and then you fill in the rest on walk-up game day. Let's don't lower the bar anymore. The Tigers' bar for this year in this league is winning this league and being the 1 seed.
Yeah. Well, I'm certainly not going to lower the bar, but I'm also not going to be excited if they win the conference in the regular season and get that number 1 seed. I mean, I don't think it changes anything for me about what the season has been for the Tigers. It's been a bad year, but certainly would make things better.
I think that's accurate, but one's better than
sure.
A week and a half ago we were scared of being left out.
No, it's but believe me, it's much better. And then then you got the chance of getting to the NCAA tournament. But I can see a world where some people, if Memphis goes and wins the regular season, wins the conference tournament, gets into the NCAA tournament, kind of forget about everything that happened this season. It's man, what a great year in the NCAA tournament, and
fans could and fans probably should. Administration should not.
And that's what I more mean. I mean, fans should be excited about your team. I was not meaning fans in that at all, but I do think there are some out there that would go, oh, well, what a great season getting into the NCAA tournament.
not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it is similar to Brett's top story of the day, but it's what is coming up for this Tiger team. I know we'll talk about it a lot more tomorrow ahead of the game, but Tigers getting ready to hit the road for 3 straight games and 3 really important games on this schedule. It starts tomorrow night, like I mentioned, on the road against North Texas. This is a North Texas team that Memphis has already beaten once this year. It was a 9-point win, a game that was really ugly on both sides. The two teams combined for only 48 points in the first half, and ultimately Memphis able to win that game. What will it look like on the road? North Texas has dropped some games at home, but all of the losses they've taken at home have been by 4 points or less. You don't just walk into the super pit and expect a win, so could be a tricky road game for the Tigers. Then we know the big non-conference game on Saturday against Utah State. What does that look like? Utah State has been really, really good all season long, and then you wrap up this 3-game road trip with a road game next Thursday against South Florida. South Florida has been super solid, especially in conference play this season, so it feels like a big game, even though, I think a lot of people looking at that Utah State game differently now because we know why it was on the schedule, for February 14th, but in terms of confidence and different things like that, that game on Saturday is still a very big game for this Tiger team. If you come out of this, we said it yesterday, if you come out winning 2 of these road games before you return home, I think that's massive, and then we can talk about this season being turned around and what happened. I know Penny Hardaway after games, the players after games have talked about this team turning things around, really coming together and trying to save this season. This feels like a big week from tomorrow to next Thursday to see where this team really is.
It really does feel like a big week. My not top story of the day, the NBA, they're going to expand. Nothing's going to stop them from it. I think that to make a better league, it would be contraction, but we know that's not going to happen in anything. Look, if hockey never contracted, nobody's ever contracting, so that's not even a serious debate topic. But there's so much for the NBA to address. This flagrant tanking that no other league has. No other league has it. Forever in baseball, we've played out the string. Okay, it may not be the best lineups out there, but it's whatever you probably had around the 1st of June. They're just not any good. Same with NFL. It's hard to discern when the NFL is really tanking. There's some shaky quarterback starters down the stretch of the year, but it's never as flagrant as this. They're gonna expand. Those 2 teams are gonna fetch those 2 cities, Seattle and Las Vegas. They're gonna bring anywhere from $4 to $6 million. They get split with the league and the 30 other owners. And after the new TV deal, cash flow should be no problem for NBA. But the NBA, it's got issues. They got their big TV deal done, and it was almost like they said, to heck with the paying fans. We got our TV money. Right. We don't need that gate money anymore.
Yeah, no, it's the TV money was big, and they made you know how big it was. It was pretty much everything that's been talked about. Oh, it's huge. It's huge.
And how it's been presented. No, I love how it's been rolled out this year. And we're really going to enjoy it post-Olympics, post-All-Star break on.
No, definitely. I mean, we've talked about it. I think all of the new, whether it's NBC, Peacock, Prime, I think all of them have been phenomenal to watch all season long. I think they've every one of them, it's been a slam dunk. But yeah, there are definitely still some issues in the NBA. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's get to our first break. And when we return, we're going to talk some college basketball. A fun night around college hoops last night. Tonight, some really intriguing games. We'll talk about it next on Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Rebel Nation, get the latest on everything Ole Miss sports with the Cannon Motors of Mississippi Rebel Yell Hotline. Join Rebel insiders Chuck Rounsville, Yancey Porter, and Gary Darby Monday nights at 6 as they break down the latest with the Rebels, along with even more insight from special guests. Rebel Yell Hotline, Mondays at 6 p.m. on WHBQ.
Stay up to date with everything going on in Ole Miss athletics with Rebel Yell Hotline every Monday night from 6 to 7 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Whether it's day or night, hot flashes due to menopause can be unpredictable. That's why there's Veoza, a prescription treatment proven to reduce the number and severity of hot flashes day and night that can start working in as early as 1 week. Based on clinical studies measuring efficacy at 4 and 12 weeks, individual results may vary. Talk to your healthcare provider about what this may mean for you. From moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms or hot flashes and night sweats due to menopause, Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to Veoza.com. That's VEOZAH.com. Paid for by Stellus Pharma.
Listen up, Rebel fans. Your next winning drive starts at Landers Ford in Collierville. Their game plan is simple. Find you the most savings possible. Make a trade, lower your payments, or let them buy your vehicle even if you don't buy from them. That's how you keep moving the chains. Just like the Grove on game day. Fans all across the Mid-South keep coming back to the #1 Ford dealership in Greater Memphis. See them today in Collierville or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. When you own a Landers Ford, you get the support of a certified service tech with the Landers Ford Remote Service Experience Program. They pick it up, drop it off, or fix it on the spot, so you're never left watching from the sidelines. To finish the drive, the iconic Landers Easy Pass always brings more for your trade and the biggest discounts to put you in victory formation. And now, straight from the 1977 Ole Miss football team that took down #1 ranked Notre Dame, the final snap of the day from Landers Ford President Don Kitchens.
If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2024 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report, Memphis Market.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't, and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination, and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Sports 56 traffic.
It's working with a couple of accidents out here. Busy as expected through Midtown. I-40 over here up by Chelsea. Expect some heavier traffic probably in the next few minutes across the I-40 bridge, pushing back over into Crittenden County. A little bit of radar throughout certain parts of Arkansas. This afternoon's been on and off as you head down I-40 towards Forest City. Hey, Valentine's Day just around the corner. So shop local this year. Why? Because you'll save a lot of money at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, there's some fun games on the schedule tonight, especially in the top 25. But last night, you look at some of those top 25 games. I know we talked a lot about the North Carolina-Miami game yesterday. It was a win for Miami, 75-66 at home. A really, really big win for Jay Lucas and this Miami team. And obviously, the first-year head coach down at Miami to get in there and have a pretty good season so far. But to get that top 25 win at home. Huge for him as he starts his coaching career at Miami. A really fun game, and ultimately a win for Miami. The other upset you had, which it just makes things really, really weird for this team, TCU, a 62-55 home win over Iowa State. Iowa State, number 5 in the AP poll. So those were the two big upsets with the home team defeating a top 25 road team coming into their place. You also had Wisconsin on the road last night against Illinois with a 92-90 win in overtime. That was a fun game. A really big second half for Wisconsin to get that win. So some really, really fun games last night. Hopefully we get some similar fun games tonight as well.
Boy, TCU, I wish they would live stream the debate of them in the committee room if it gets that far for TCU. Way back, way back. I bet you didn't think I even noticed this on opening night.
Yeah.
TCU lost to UNO.
Right. Yeah, no, they did.
And the most of the reason why I noticed it that night, I thought, for the Tigers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they had UNO sitting out there to play. TCU lost at home to New Orleans. Their resume, it is really odd. Beat Florida. Again, lose to UNO. Lose to Wisconsin. Wisconsin's fair. Lose to Notre Dame. They're not any good. Lose by 10 to North Texas.
Did they lose to North Texas?
No. Win by 10.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Win by 10 over North Texas. I need new glasses before I get to college football happen.
I just double checking on that. No, it is a very very weird resume. I mean,
very up and down.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, some of these losses. You mentioned New Orleans, Notre Dame, not a great loss at home. Utah. Earlier in January on the road, but Utah is not any good. Colorado isn't a great team. Some of these losses they have.
Iowa State's good.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They've got wins like Iowa State and Florida on their schedule. So, I think they are going to be one of those teams come tournament time, especially if they can win more games down the stretch. A lot of it will have to do with what they do the rest of the way. But, just right now looking at it, this is going to be a team that I think could make it an argument. Even some of these losses, you look at very competitive Michigan early in the season when Michigan was just dominating everybody. They only lost by 4 points at home to Michigan. Houston, they only lose by 9 points at home to Houston in late January. So this is one of the more interesting teams in all of the country. TCU is.
It should be live streamed.
It should be
the debate over TCU. I watched a lot of the Miami win over North Carolina and had a feeling that was coming. I think North Carolina left a lot in the celebration at the Dean Dome from Saturday night, and it was really Miami's first great win of the year. Yeah. They feel destined for Dayton. Miami does if they're in the tournament.
Yeah, and you look at the rest of their schedule. It looks very manageable. I mean, they've got certainly some tough games. I'll be really interested on Saturday. This game on the road against NC State. But you look the rest of the way. 2 really tough games at the end of the season against SMU and Louisville. But yeah, last night you just like you said, kind of felt like North Carolina with how emotional, how big that win was against Duke the game before. That could be a letdown spot. Obviously on the road against Miami, and Miami just played extremely well, and it was kind of a little bit of everybody that chipped in. They didn't really have just one guy that jumped out there and had a great game. Trey Donaldson was doing a little bit of everything, in the scoring, rebounding, assist department, but it's kind of everybody pitching in. Really a really nice team win for Miami, a big-time win for that coaching staff, and they'll be another team to kind of keep an eye on the rest of the way because just looking forward, road against NC State will be big for resume. Road against Virginia will be big for resume. And then, like I said, those last 2 games, road against SMU and then home against Louisville to end the regular season. There's some big resume-building wins if they can get them. So, a lot more on their schedule that could determine, what that postseason looks like, both in the conference tournament and maybe in the NCAA tournament for them.
I'll ask Blake Lovell the same thing when he joins us a little bit after 4 o'clock. How much do you trust the Razorbacks?
I certainly trust them more than I trust some other teams in the SEC. I guess I'll leave it at that.
Who do you trust more in the SEC than Arkansas?
I think Florida. The way Florida's been playing lately, I certainly trust them. I think more.
And Kentucky beat them at Bud Walton, but
I don't trust Kentucky team at all. I mean, they still got to they got to do more for me to really trust them based on kind of how. I mean, again, like Kentucky's one of those weird teams where they've stacked a lot of wins, but none of these wins or very few of these wins have been very pretty. And so I think I trust Arkansas a little bit more than Kentucky. Just me personally, I know that's probably the minority, but Kentucky could certainly swing that with these next couple of games coming up: Florida, Georgia, and Auburn. But I would say Arkansas, in terms of the SEC, they're up there for me. I would say they're either second or third, and kind of the team I trust the most.
I know tonight with Arkansas already with that big win, I was thinking maybe upset watch a little bit last night in Baton Rouge. I thought they would be better than that. They didn't have a pulse. No. Arkansas blasted them tonight in Athens. Cocktail party on the hardwood.
That's right. Yeah, and that'll be.
And next year there's no cocktail party in Jacksonville. It's in Atlanta next year. So this might be the closest thing to cocktail party you'll get for a while.
Yeah.
But if Georgia wins tonight in the loss column, I know Kentucky would have the tiebreak over Arkansas. But look at the logjam in the SEC.
Yeah.
It'd be Florida, Kentucky, Arkansas, and if A&M wins tonight.
Yeah, no, I think tonight's a really fun night around the SEC, and that's certainly one that I think will have a lot of eyes. The way that Georgia's played for most of the season and just kind of what they've done offensively, especially in non-conference play. I mean, they were just putting up numbers, pretty much in every single game. Can they be able to do that at home tonight against Florida? It really feels like this Florida team is starting to get back to that championship DNA, playing like a team that looks like they can go really deep in the NCAA tournament with some of these wins over the last couple of weeks. So that's going to be a really fun game. And, we talked about already the Alabama-Ole Miss game could be interesting tonight. Tennessee on the road against Mississippi State, and then A&M at home against Missouri. I think all of these games tonight in the SEC will be really intriguing.
Joey, brackets he has in his latest bracket, it was yesterday, but wouldn't change that much. He has Georgia as a 10 seed playing St. Louis U in St. Louis.
Wow.
Because it's not at Chaffetz. It's at the Blues Arena. So, and the winner getting probably Illinois. That would be so unfair on Illinois.
It really would be. I'd hate to be Illinois in that spot. But it'd make it really fun for St. Louis to kind of have their fans be able to really come out and support them on that big stage. But I really like this Illinois team. I know they lost that game last night against Wisconsin, a really fun game that went into overtime. But they are a really talented team. Keaton Wagler is awesome. I mean, he is one of those we've kind of started talking about a little bit. Keaton Wagler is putting on a Memphis cap at the NBA draft. I would be really happy with that.
You would be?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm all in on Wagler. He might be a little more it might take a little more time than some of these other guys. I don't know what that adjustment will look like to the NBA, but man, he just on a night-to-night basis, he is just so fun to watch. He's just a long, very active guard. And
what's the latest he stays on the draft board?
Well, that's the crazy thing. And I remember us talking with Kevin Sweeney about him earlier this year after he had that massive game against Purdue.
46.
Where, at that time it was, maybe 10, 11, 12. After that game, he really kind of jumped up the board, and it was kind of like, okay, maybe mid-lottery. Now, because of the way he continues to play, I'm seeing mock drafts where he's getting taken 6th, 5th. He is really rising, so I don't know if he would be there on the board depending on where the Grizzlies are picking, but he is just it has turned into where Illinois is must watch. If they're playing, I'm making sure no matter what other game is on, I'm either watching live or recording and watching it later to see not only him. I really like this Illinois team, but to sit down and watch him and watch that Illinois team play. They're fun to watch.
Never mind Bediako. But when I see this Alabama team and see them in the lobby today, they look the part. Now everybody looks young to me because I know I'm dinosaur old. LeBaron Philon looks. He just looks really young.
Yeah.
And he's going to go high in the draft.
He will.
This is more for Kevin at 5 and even for Blake at 4:00.
Yeah. Never
mind Bediako. Why is Alabama? Why aren't they rolling more? They don't. Why did they get caught up in all this? I can answer that. They still don't play any defense.
They don't.
The whole Nate Oates worldview is chalk threes.
Yeah, no, it really is. And, I mean, you go back and you look at some of those losses, especially the back-to-back losses earlier in conference play. I mean, you look at those results, 96-90 against Vanderbilt.
Gave up 100.
And, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, and then you had 92-88 against Texas back-to-back games. I mean, it's just, that's hard to do. I mean, but yeah, and then you got other games where they give up 100 points. I mean, it is hard to win a lot of games and be very consistent when you are not playing much defense and giving up that many points.
Did they want Bediako? All right, back to Bediako. I said, never mind him. Now I'm going back to him. Did they want him more because he knows we don't play any defense and we need somebody defending the cup?
Yeah, I think that was the biggest reason to bring him in, is just have that big man that can try to be a rim protector. But I don't know what his stats ultimately looked like in those type of departments. But I guess they're gonna have to find a different option now. That he is ineligible.
You look down at that Alabama roster. I mean, the size is great.
Yeah, no, it is. And you mentioned LeBaron Philon. I mean, for a point guard, 6'4", I mean that's a pretty good size. Another guy, you're talking about guys that just look super young. Aiden Holloway, anytime I see him on the court, he looks like he should be in like middle school. I mean, he has a really, really young face. But no, they've got some really talented pieces, and I think I'll be curious tonight to see what it looks like in this road game against Ole Miss. I know you'll be there, and hopefully we get a really fun one down in Oxford.
When do we put the focus on the international scene and them being pros, like we think we have out of the decision for Bediako?
What do you mean?
Like Cumberdine for Ole Miss and other foreign players that are pros.
Yeah, I have no problem with those guys coming over and playing. I got into a really intense argument with one of my buddies about it yesterday, actually. I think the issue I have is you're seeing guys that are coming over as like 23, 24-year-olds, and they're saying that you're a freshman or you're a sophomore, and that just doesn't add up at all.
All right, now Ole Miss had a 24-year-old freshman punter last year.
Sure, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing,
from Australia.
Sure, and that's the thing.
But he had no pro connection.
Sure, and so I would like to see maybe get something figured out there in terms of I don't know if I want a guy that's 24 years old that's been playing professional basketball overseas to come over and have 4 years of eligibility of college.
Because you got the ninth-year linebacker at Montana today. I mean, it's a mess out there.
Look, at some point, enough's enough. But I don't have a problem with those guys. I mean, it's such a different basketball scene and really sports scene over there internationally. Those guys.
What are the various levels of being a pro? Is there the big leagues and then AAA and AA and all that?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. It's certainly more comparable to like European soccer, where you've got kind of the different leagues and how they go down in terms of talent. But I think it would be sort of comparable in terms of talent level to kind of what you see with Major League Baseball and the minor league system. But I mean, these guys they get to however old, and they're 10, 11 years old, and they join an academy on their youth team. And then as they grow up, they're not playing, high school basketball. They're playing
They're being paid at 11 and 12?
No. So the academy, I don't believe that is payment, but it's just kind of getting in that system. It might be some sort of payment. I'm not sure what that looks like over there. Certainly nothing compared to what they're getting paid being older, but they just get into that system. They play with the same guys. They're learning the system, and then as they grow up, they get on the senior team, and that's kind of what we're seeing with these guys. So I have no problem in that sense. But I do think we need to kind of tighten it up a little bit and make it a little more streamlined in terms of eligibility and kind of what that looks like. But we need to get to another break. When we return, we're going to talk some more hoops. We're going to switch gears. Need to talk the NBA, a loaded slate tonight around the NBA. We'll talk about it next on Sports Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey y'all, it's the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, February 20th through the 22nd at the Agri Center. Come buy your new boat and make some memories at the lake this summer with family and friends. Premier dealers showcasing the newest ski boats, pontoons, fishing boats with huge show specials. Enter your chance to win daily door prizes. It's all at the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, February 20th through the 22nd. For more info, go to memphisboatshow.com. That's memphisboatshow.com.
At the Agri Center.
Whether it's day or night, hot flashes due to menopause can be unpredictable. That's why there's Veoza, a prescription treatment proven to reduce the number and severity of hot flashes day and night that can start working in as early as 1 week. Based on clinical studies measuring efficacy at 4 and 12 weeks, individual results may vary. Talk to your healthcare provider about what this may mean for you. From moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms or hot flashes and night sweats due to menopause, Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to Veoza.com. That's VEOZAH.com. Paid for by Stellus Pharma.
365 days a year. The locally owned and operated team from Lawn Solutions, uniformed up, looking good, and ready to bring their 20 years of experience in lawn and shrub care to your property. Lawn Solutions, weed control and fertilization, tree and shrub care programs, lawn care programs. Lawn Solutions. Call 901-867-5626. Lawn Solutions. Bonded licensed team members. Online, LawnSolutionsInc.net. Call 901-867-5626. And Lawn Solutions will be there.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders Roofing and Restoration. Let me ask you something. Are you seeing unsightly water spots on your ceiling, in your home, your office, or even worse, mold? Have you noticed shingles missing, pieces in your yard, or signs your roof just doesn't look right anymore? Here's the facts. What you see inside usually means there's already a bigger problem above you. At Metro Builders, we don't just guess, we inspect. Our team performs a full roof inspection right on site. We take detailed photos, document everything, and show you exactly what's happening with your roof. Whether it's a simple repair or a full replacement, don't let anyone tell you it needs to be replaced when all it needs is a repair. We offer free inspections, on-the-spot estimates, clear explanations, and yes, financing is available. Before a small issue turns into major damage, make the phone call that protects your home. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. Or check us out online at metrobuildersmemphis.com. Metro Builders Roofing and Restoration. We don't just build, we build world class.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. Just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then, you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
A pretty loaded schedule in the NBA tonight. A lot of teams that will be their last game until after the All-Star break that will get started Friday night and into the All-Star game on Sunday. But tonight, a pretty loaded slate. Tomorrow night, Bucks, Thunder, Trailblazers, Jazz, Mavericks, Lakers, 2 of those games on Prime Video. But tonight, we know the Grizzlies and the Nuggets at 8 o'clock. But some interesting games tonight, including a pair of ESPN games. Knicks on the road against the 76ers. And then later tonight, Spurs, who Victor Wembanyama has just been on an absolute tear, against that Golden State Warriors team that the Grizzlies almost knocked off. Steph Curry still out. So could be an interesting game out at the Chase Center there. But could be some really fun games in the NBA tonight.
I don't know that I'm a historian on the topic, but I don't think through the years San Antonio and Dallas has been quite the heated rivalry we probably would suspect and expect. it's getting ready to be.
Yeah, no.
With Flagg and Wemby over the next 10 years, and a lot of fun for us, the consumer. It's getting ready to be.
I think it's going to be really fun. I really think, you look at those teams in Texas. I mean, that's going to be a hotbed over the next couple of years of kind of those rivalries between those teams. Like you mentioned, Dallas and San Antonio, and then you throw Houston in there that has been a really fun team, and they've got some young guys that they certainly will build around. It's going to be fun. I mean, you look right now at the Western Conference standings. San Antonio, Houston, 2 and 3. We know Dallas way back behind the Grizzlies, but we know we have a feeling that will change once they really start building around Cooper Flagg. Basketball in Texas in the future in the NBA will be really fun to watch.
And we all thought it both nights they hit the lottery. Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew, oh no, not again. Here, San Antonio was getting ready to run it all back, and Dallas is going to have that, premier player like Dirk again.
Yeah, no,
and like they had with Luka.
That's exactly right. And so it's certainly hadn't been pretty for Dallas this year. They've lost a bunch of games in a row. But I do think they've got obviously when you have Cooper Flagg and you can start building around him. They'll be right there in the lottery again this year and can add a piece alongside him. They made that move with AD and a couple other players because it was full out. Hey. We know that we're getting ready. We're kind of already starting a new era. It's the Cooper Flagg era, and he's going to be our centerpiece, and we're really going to build around him. But, I mean, you look at it. They had a game postponed back at the end of January. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight losses for Dallas. I mean, that's really, really rough. But
and after you do that, you want 8 more.
Oh yeah, no. Once you get those losses rolling, keep those losses
keep it
coming.
going.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And that's what the Grizzlies are trying to do tonight in Denver.
That's right. Yep, keep those losses
Let's keep
going.
the losses coming.
It looks like it's going to be another loss. I mentioned earlier, 14.5-point underdog tonight against the Denver Nuggets. This Denver team, they lost their last game out, but they are playing some good basketball right now, 4th in the Western Conference standings. So we'll see how that game plays out.
You don't want any of that plus 525 Grizzlies money line?
Brett, I'll pass. I don't think there's going to be a single game the rest of the year that I'll be willing to bet Grizzlies money line on because I think all of them are up in the air. Not that they're going to lose all the games the rest of the season, but I'm not going to feel confident about many of them.
If we put 10 on every game the rest of the way, wouldn't have to hit many.
No, you wouldn't have to hit many. But man, that could be ugly. That could be ugly trying to play that out. I can't wait until I get to see this line for the Memphis and Utah game, their first game out of the All-Star break. That's two teams that are really, really, really trying to tank it out. And I mean, I don't know what happens when you get two tanking teams going up against each other.
That game set up, that's when the announcer should say, instead of something's got to give, nothing should give.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's one of those. Whew,
both are giving.
That's right. Nobody is going to want to win this game. And, well, I think we have I think we're going to get, we got a little bit of a view of that tonight. Kings on the road at the Jazz. That will be,
we do.
That'll be two teams that don't want
to.
That's right. And we'll see if any of those star players for Utah plays a second in the fourth quarter.
I know the whole public is probably thinking this, and that's why Vegas exists, is because the public doesn't know we don't know what we're doing.
Right.
Wouldn't it lend itself to just bet the over when nobody cares? Can't be a lot of defense.
It can't be a lot of defense, but
we don't have prolific scorers in.
I was about to say some of those guys that might be out there.
This bad.
Yeah, I don't know if I really trust it being just an all out score fest. But hey, it could be. I know one of those games I kind of had the same.
These players are in the NBA.
They are. They can score. But I've seen that. I've seen that hurt some people in the past. But who knows what happens? I had that same logic. What was it, last week when Memphis was playing Portland? I was like, okay, these two teams, Portland's not very good. Grizzlies are certainly tanking. Maybe an over, and it ultimately hit. So maybe that is the play tonight with Utah.
I know, I had the first Super Bowl shutout Sunday.
Well, hey, but you were close. I mean, you almost had it. You were right there. Just this close to nailing.
Is that close to Super Bowl heaven?
Yeah, it's very close to Super Bowl heaven. I'll give that one to you. But we're going to get to a break here in a second. Before we do that, let me remind you, perfect time to head down to Olive Branch and check out Frontier Western Store. Family owned and operated since 1967, Frontier Western is your one-stop shop for all the biggest brands in Western wear. They're the one-stop shop for Carhartt in the Mid-South, but they've also got you covered with plenty of other brands when it comes to shirts, shorts, jeans, outerwear, whatever you're looking for, they've got it in stock. But if you need a new pair of jeans, Frontier is the place you need to get to. They've got all the different brands from Ariat all the way down to Wrangler, and you'll love how easy it is to find the perfect size and style for you. While you're down there, check out Frontier's world-famous boot showroom. Whether it's work boots or dress boots, Frontier has you covered for the entire family with plenty of in-stock proven classics like Ariat, Dam Post, and Durango, and that's just to name a few. At Frontier, the pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know you'll be getting the best deals. Head down to 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, check them out, and check out the entire selection. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. for Frontier Western Store. Let's wrap up this first hour, get to a break, and when we return, we're talking some SEC hoops. Blake Lovell from the Southeastern 16, he joins us next.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar-based. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
This Valentine's Day, skip the expected and give something that truly lasts. Time to slow down, recharge, and feel cared for. A Gold Salon Spa gift card is effortless, thoughtful, and always the right choice. Opening the door to calm moments, confidence-boosting care, and everyday luxury that goes well beyond February 14th. Because the most meaningful gifts aren't things. They're how you make someone feel. Gould's gift cards are available online or in store. Gould's, a legacy of style, care, and community since 1932.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Gradual breakers. You keep your eyes on the road, so you've seen it all. As long as it all happened directly in front of you, like a Swedish masseuse, your foot knows exactly the right amount of pressure to apply to the brake. That's why your passengers feel totally relaxed with you behind the wheel and occasionally super sleepy. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Maria's Cantina in South Haven is not your average Tex-Mex joint because they're serving up Mexican with a twist. Maria's Scratch Kitchen is the most creative and diverse menu around. Beyond the traditional huge quesadillas, chimichangas, and fajitas, Maria serves up hand-rolled Latin egg rolls, Cajun and Creole items like catfish, gumbo, and boudin balls, as well as the best sandwiches and 8-ounce burgers in town. Wash it all down with a house margarita for only $5.50 and happy hour every day till 6. MariasCantina.com. 6717 Airways, Mexican with a twist.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders, your roofing and restoration resource. With single-digit temperatures and ice moving in, frozen pipes and ice dams don't give you much time to react. A busted pipe can flood walls, ceilings, and floors in minutes. And the real damage is often hidden behind drywall, insulation, and cabinets. That trapped moisture can lead to mold fast. Right now, Metro Builders Memphis is delivering immediate emergency water mitigation and response day or night. We can stop the water, document the damage,
catch and help prevent long-term issues before they spread. If you see water stains, sagging ceilings, or active leaks, don't wait. Call us before mold spores spread. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. Metro Builders, your roofing and restoration resource. Metro Builders, we don't just build, we build world class. Book us online at metrobuildersmemphis.com. metrobuildersmemphis.com.
This traffic report brought to you by City Center Liquor just off Highway 70 in Lakeland. Local, friendly, and always fully stocked. For a 5% discount, tell them Sports 56 sent you.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Despite a couple of EMS calls out here in the last few minutes, here's what we're seeing. Heavier traffic on 240 South to South Parkway. That normal buildup right now. Trying to get out of the Midtown area. Still not too bad right now as we keep an eye on it over here on 240 East from Mill Branch out to 385. That'll crank up sooner than later. We're going outbound on Billmore's Parkway, pushing on out towards the Collierville area. Valentine's Day just around the corner, so stop by and shop local right now at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden. Weekdays from 11 to 1. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers, Ford, and Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
When you hear the sound coming, hear the drums drumming, I want you to jump.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our second hour on this Wednesday afternoon. We got to talk some SEC hoops, and Blake Lovell from the Southeastern 16. He joins us now. Blake, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to get to, but let's start with the Charles Bediako decision from Monday. He is now ineligible to play for Alabama. What did you make of that ruling, and what did you make of kind of the reaction from Nate Oates that we've seen kind of ever since that announcement was made on Monday?
Yeah, I mean, again, like we talked about the past couple of weeks, I think just the predictions for any of this, we're never going to be fully confident just based on how everything has played out. You know, I'm sure, again, with Nate Oates kind of reacting the way he did, I mean, I have no doubt he's disappointed because, you know, you kind of look at the overall picture here, and they thought from the very beginning that he had a strong case to keep playing, and, you know, now that's not the case, and so certainly you have a team that's, call it what it is, down an impactful player, but, you know, they also went 3-2 in the 5 games that he played in, and so I just think, yeah, it's one of these where we knew when this started there were going to be a lot of twists and turns, and I can't say I'm surprised that he's no longer playing for Alabama, but at the same time, like, it's still going to be a talking point because I know people are going to ask come tournament time, you know, how is that weighed by the committee and all this stuff, which in my honest opinion, guys, I don't see this as a significant thing in terms of changing the seeding for Alabama or anyone else.
So they should not be punished?
I don't think they're going to be punished. I mean, will they be? Here's my thinking on this with Alabama, is he played 5 games. They're going to wind up probably playing 34, 35 by the time they get to the NCAA tournament. And, I mean, I kind of see it as though they're going to view this, what we assume, not always the case in terms of the seeding, because I can't buy that this is what they always do, but there are pretty much scenarios, I think, where you look at it and say, which Alabama team are we seeing once they get to the tournament selection process, when we get to Selection Sunday? And I think whatever team you see that day and whatever team you've seen since then, which, oh, by the way, I think we have to also consider they're about to go 5-0 because their schedule is about as good as it gets over the next 2.5 weeks. And, you know, it's one of those things where I don't see them being knocked at all seed-wise because I don't know that, other than beating Auburn, I mean, I don't know how good the A&M win's going to look come NCAA tournament time. So I don't think it's a significant difference, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I'm
with Bama suing the NCAA like they have been fighting so in court. I can see that committee when it came down between A&M as a 4 or a 5 or Bama as a 4 or 5, Bama gets punished.
Well, and I think that's where, to me, it's really going to come down to how do they play the rest of the way. Because if they were to, let's say, drop a game even tonight at Ole Miss, I think that gives you all the fuel you need if you're the committee to say, all right, well then you're showing us that was a guy who maybe could have been the difference between you winning and losing at a team that's ranked in the 80s in the net.
Mm-hmm.
And, let's say they lose to South Carolina or Mississippi State, which I just think is really hard to fathom, but it's the same conversation. So I think a lot of this will really depend on, do they take care of their business the way they should? Do I think they're going to go unbeaten? No. But I do think if you look at their next 5 games, they're at Ole Miss tonight, they win that one, maybe. Home against South Carolina, home against Arkansas, at LSU, home against Mississippi State. If they win tonight, I think there's a really good chance they're going 5-0 in this stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about a team that's then in the SEC title race and has every reason to then say, well, how are you going to punish us when we just won 5 games in a row after this guy stopped playing? So I think it's going to be interesting. But if you make a good point, Brett, that could absolutely be the case. But I think it really is going to depend on what they do, because there will be overreaction to Alabama's results the rest of the way, win or lose.
It's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out for them. I was looking at some of the bracketologies earlier today, and it looks like a lot of them, including the one I have pulled up right now, Joe Lenardi's over on ESPN, has Texas in the last 4 in. I really enjoy watching this Texas team. It was a shaky win for them over the weekend against Ole Miss. They really struggled to shoot the 3 ball. What do you make of this Texas team, and kind of how do you see them going the rest of the way?
Yeah, Texas is they're the ultimate roller coaster ride at times, because they don't really play a lot of defense, but their offense is top 10 in the country. They're a great rebounding team, and so they can be pretty entertaining in that regard. They also like to get to the free throw line a lot, and that's something that I think that's helping them when you have the big guy in Boki Titus who can kind of get to the line as much as he does, and so. To me, with Texas,
and he doesn't miss.
He doesn't. He is, he's about as good as he gets when it comes to being a big man that kind of is in that situation who could draw fouls the way that he can. It's absolutely an asset for this Texas team. They need someone like that. But I think what it's going to come down to here, when you look at, we talk about remaining schedules, and they're so important right now. They don't have what I would consider probably an easy game left. LSU at home is maybe as close as it gets next Tuesday, but you look at the rest of their games, and they're going to play some of these teams like Florida, even Georgia, A&M, Arkansas on the road. These are all potentially high octane offensive teams that if Texas kind of is inconsistent the way they've been defensively, they could lose a lot of these games. If they're as good as they've been offensively, they could win all these games. I think Texas winds up getting in, and they get a little bit further off the bubble, but I can't say that with full confidence just because I don't trust them defensively. And honestly, that's kind of the case for, teams like Auburn and so forth right now.
Yeah.
I took a shot earlier at Alabama and Nate Oates that it's always the defense. It's always his worldview of let's chuck a bunch of threes. We make them. I'm really tough, and I can take a team to the Final Four. If we don't, well, we missed them, and we don't play a lot of defense, and we'll get you next time. Who in the SEC consistently plays good defense?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is if we look at it, and we were talking about this, several weeks ago on our show. If you look back at the SEC over the past even decade or so, this is kind of a year where the offense has really kind of outpaced the defense. And I mean in terms of elite type defensive teams, where there were some elite defensive teams over the past several years that you felt pretty confident about. Tennessee's always been there. Auburn's had some elite defensive teams when they've been at the top. You remember LSU had some pretty elite defensive teams when Will Wade was still there, and so forth, Arkansas and all that. But, this year, you look at the SEC, and it's there are only, Florida's the only team that's in the top 10, I think, defensively. But there are only 4 teams maybe, inside the top 40. And that is very unusual for the SEC, that you don't have as many more teams than that kind of sitting in that range, I think. And so Florida's the best defensive team. Tennessee's still really good. If you compare their efficiency numbers and all that, they're not top 5 like they've been the last 5 years, but they're still in the top 20. Vanderbilt's been pretty good defensively. And then, like Kentucky, their defense has been the reason why they're playing so well right now. And so, other than that, like, you don't have a lot of great defensive teams. Teams that are giving up a lot of points, but I think if you look at it and say, well, why is that? It's because I think overall you've got a lot more elite offensive teams this year in terms of just pure numbers than you've had in recent years in the SEC. So that may be a big difference here because you got a lot of guys who can score. And, you know, speaking of which, I mean, that makes the SEC Player of the Year, first team All-SEC type discussion about as fascinating as I can remember, guys, in the past, you know, quite a few handful of years probably.
Yeah, no, it definitely will be. Who would you put in there right now? Who's kind of your favorite right now for Player of the Year?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like if you're just going purely on performance-based stuff here, I mean, I think Tyler Tanner at Vanderbilt's probably the guy. And a lot of people may not agree with that, but if you're talking about a team 20-4, they're 7-4 in the SEC, and he has been carrying this entire load without Duke Miles and Frankie Collins now. I mean, you know, maybe you should say, well, he should be putting up these kind of numbers. That's not the debate, right? It's like, what has he done? And I think overall his numbers are as good as it gets. But beyond that, I mean, you can make compelling arguments for Thomas Houck at Florida, for Darius Acuff, LeBaron Philon, you know, Jacoby Gillespie. I even said to someone earlier, it may sound crazy, but Nate Ament, who maybe had a couple, you know, early games in SEC play where he didn't play great, if he plays the way he's playing right now, the rest of the way, he should be in the SEC Player of the Year race, not just the Freshman of the Year race. So I think there are a lot of guys that are going to be there towards the end of the season, and it's really, I think, going to be probably as wide open of a vote for SEC Player of the Year as I can remember in a while because I think you got so many kind of compelling arguments for these guys.
What settles it? Would if you had 3 or 4 about the same, would the tiebreaker be whatever team ended up better?
I think if I had to make a prediction right now on who's going to win the SEC Player of the Year, I'd pick Thomas Houck at Florida because I think Florida's going to win the SEC. And I think that'll probably be the separator unless you do get a scenario where, let's say, Vanderbilt were to finish strong and winds up at 2 or 3. Then I think Tyler Tanner's numbers would be close enough to consider him as the Player of the Year. And it could be the same for Darius Acuff potentially. But sometimes that can be an easy thing for the voters too, right? It's like, well, we're going to give Darius Acuff the Freshman of the Year award. We don't have to give him the Player of the Year award. Unless it's just such a slam dunk case, we're fine doing that. So I think, again, if you had to ask me right now, predict one guy that's going to win this thing, I think it's Thomas Houck. But I think a lot of that for me really is dependent on, is Florida going to do what I think they're going to do the rest of the way? And to be honest, guys, another thing I don't know that I've seen in a while in SEC play, Florida has a half-game lead over Arkansas and Kentucky. And right now, if you look at the odds makers, they're a minus 750 favorite to win the SEC. And the next closest is Arkansas at plus 1,400. Wow. That is a sizable gap for a team that at the 11-game mark only has a half-game lead over the competition.
Wow.
That's Vegas
incredible.
Speaking loud.
Yeah.
Blake, you know all those players you just rattled off, Acuff, Houck, even Philon, the Ament. You look at Tankathon and these mock drafts, next year, fall of 2026, 2 of those 4 or 5 names could be Memphis Grizzlies with the full blow-up the Grizzlies are in.
Absolutely. I think, and that would be fascinating, wouldn't it? Because, I mean, and we always say this, and we talked about players before, and we were talking about Walter Clayton there recently, and, you know, you never fully know, again, how guys are going to translate, but these are different guys. Like, these are guys that, when you look at Acuff, and you just kind of see the next level projection of a point guard and what he can do. Like, he is the model of, like, the current NBA point guard that can have all-star type success. And, I mean, Nate Ament, the thing we were knocking the most about him, you know, earlier, you know, I would say in the season was just people were questioning the frame. They're questioning, okay, what's this, what's that, how's he going to improve here? But he is a great example, and I think we're going to kind of look back on him as, like, don't ever just completely overreact to a guy that has that much skill, because sometimes all it takes is just experience. It's just playing more games. It's playing more minutes. And I think we're going to see, like you said, with guys like that, who eventually are going to have a really good chance to become NBA All-Star type talent. There's never the need just to overreact immediately. So, yeah.
No, not at all. You mentioned Tyler Tanner a couple minutes ago talking about that race for Player of the Year. Vanderbilt over the weekend. When you just look at the scores, it reads as just a 1-point loss against Oklahoma. But I changed that
Great
game when it was.
I stayed with it.
Really,
I don't know why.
I turned it off with about 5 minutes. They were up, 21 points or so, and then next thing I know, I'm getting a text from one of my buddies saying, "Oh man, Vanderbilt's only down 2 with 5 seconds left in the game." What happened in that game where Oklahoma, a team that going into that game had only won one conference game, really was putting it on Vanderbilt until those last couple of minutes?
Yeah, I think at one point, I looked this up, Oklahoma had I think it was 99.8% chance to win with 4 minutes left, and they win by 1. I'm like, I don't know how many times I've seen that before. But, I think
there's not 99.8. We finished this segment.
It's true.
That's the thing, right? It's like, how does that even happen? And Vanderbilt's got a chance to win there at the end. But, I think it does kind of speak to when you have a player like Tyler Tanner and the way he can just take over a game, because it really was all about him. I mean, the other guys, Tyler Nickel hit some big threes. Okereke had a solid game and all that. But the thing is, I feel like it almost was a game where Oklahoma kind of remembered, we're actually the team that's lost 9 in a row. Mm-hmm. And Vanderbilt just all of a sudden said, wait a second, we just looked up the scoreboard and we realized 36 minutes into this thing, we're down.
Oh, you couldn't get the ball in bounds.
That's the thing. They couldn't even do, and that's where, again, it's like the pressure builds when your team, like Oklahoma, that nothing has gone right for, and you're just thinking, can anything go our way? And then 1 turns into 2, into 3, into 4, and it's just it's the snowball effect, right? So that's, and I said this too, and this is where it's like, what a different era we're in. The thing is, people were questioning, I put out the net rankings and updated, analytics and all that after that game. People were like, now what do they have with Vanderbilt? They're biased towards Vanderbilt because they're not dropping. I'm like, guys, you don't realize how important it was for Vanderbilt, who, if they were going to lose that game by a point, it was almost a victory for them to come back and not lose by 15. If they'd have lost by 15, that's the kind of thing that drops you a seed line. The fact that they lost by 1, they're not moving because it's just simply a game where, the analytics say you only lost by a point. That's not a big deal. But you lose by 15 or 20 to the worst team in the SEC at that point, that's knocking you. So, it's wild, but that's probably going to be the lasting story of that game, is not that Oklahoma won. It's that Vanderbilt actually found a way to lose the game and it not hurt them at all.
It was kind of a win. I know we in Porter Moser, he looked like, and I'm not joking, he looked like, if I blow this, I'll walk from Nashville
right,
to Norman. Yeah. I'm done.
Yeah, he was going to head to Broadway and just call it a career for a year maybe, because I'll say this too, and we've had this debate, right, about these coaching changes in the SEC. Someone asked me earlier also, it's like, if you ranked them right now, who's the most likely and least likely of, let's say, the trio of what feels like somewhat obvious contenders, and that is Oklahoma, LSU, and South Carolina. And I said, I think the most likely is very clear. I said, I think it's Oklahoma. And I don't necessarily think it's just from Oklahoma's side. I think if I'm Porter Moser, at some point, I think it's just a fit thing. And this was the conversation that I had with someone 2 years ago there. Just was you know what? I don't think this is the right fit for both parties. And I think you kind of see it play out that way. And it goes back to the bigger question, which we could spend an hour on this, but it's what is the commitment level of an Oklahoma, an LSU, and a South Carolina right now?
Who cares? Yeah. Who's most invested?
Exactly. And that's where, when you start going through pool of candidates, we've also kind of bantered this about in recent weeks, I couldn't even begin to tell you, because here's the thing. I don't think there's an ACC, Big 10, Big 12, whatever coach out there that probably looks at LSU, Oklahoma, and South Carolina right now and thinking, man, what a desirable job. Not because they're losing, because I just don't think the commitment overall is there. And, that's going to be the discussion when we talk about job openings from now until the end of time, if the current model is the way it is, because that's what it comes down to. I know the big story last year, remember, LSU and South Carolina were going to commit all this extra money and NIL and all this other stuff. Well, yeah, they've got some pretty decent players, but has it panned out because they've had bad coaching, or is it not panned out because maybe that investment just still isn't good enough. Like, I think these are the questions you have to ask. So,
Blake, think about that LSU press conference announcing whoever's the new head coach, and you better be a supernova. You better have a pretty healthy ego, because when that AD introduces you, before he gets to introducing you, he's going to say, want to thank Coach Mulkey, Coach Johnson, and Coach Kiffin for being here today. That's three, superpowers.
Well, and you know what? That's why in ranking those three, I ranked LSU at the least likely of them, because I don't know that financially, and we've talked about this before, I don't know that LSU really cares enough to financially make that move right now, because my thinking is if you're going to fire Matt McMahon, who, I'll say this, like, I know they've struggled, but I don't know there's been a team that's had worse injury luck to their best players the past 2 years than LSU. They've lost Jalen Reed, who would have been their second best player in back-to-back seasons now. And now they've lost their best player, Deaton Thomas, at the very start of SEC play. He came back for a couple games, but now he's not playing. And so it's like, that's just bad luck. But at the same time, if you're going to fire Matt McMahon and you're going to tie up all that money, then you have to tell your fans that we're going to go out and hire someone better than Matt McMahon and pay him more money. And is LSU willing to do that right now? I'm not convinced that's the case.
No. First call I would make, as mad as he stays about the travel stuff, I call Mick Cronin. Because he could handle that ego. He could look at all three of those and go, I'm just as big a guy as y'all are. Our Coach Gal is. I'm a bigger coach as any of the three of y'all. I messed up my correlation, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, if you rank the LSU job in SEC basketball right now, it's not the worst job. But I don't think it's anywhere near as desirable as it was when Will Wade left.
There was a time before all the expansion, most notably Arkansas, LSU had they had a strong case to make a case for the second most basketball tradition of anybody behind Kentucky. Tennessee would have been there, but LSU was going to Final Fours. Tennessee never had, still hadn't.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is, like, it would not be very high. I think right now, based on all the other outside elements you've mentioned, Brett, I don't think it'd be very high on the list right now for me, because I think part of it really goes into the NIL. And
if I'm Mick Cronin, I demand Shaq on that stage with me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. You need that right now.
I mean, LSU basketball has such a good history. John Brady went to a Final Four. That should count triple.
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
That's true. Well, it should be some fun games tonight around the SEC, including that Alabama-Ole Miss game. But, Blake, as always, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Blake.
Thank you, Blake. And LSU went to a Final Four, Brian, in 1986 when I was talking about St. Louis hosting NCAA tournament games at the Blues Arena.
Yeah.
They hosted NCAA tournament games at their arena and cost the Tigers going to the Final Four in 86.
Wow, interesting.
That was absolute robbery.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier. It'd be unfortunate for any team that has to go to St. Louis if St. Louis playing there. And
but go to the PMAC.
Well, that's
as a better seed.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like any team that I mean that's happened before. It's just, I mean,
it was just wrong.
It's just unfortunate. It really is. I mean, I hate that.
That would have been back-to-back Final Fours for the Tigers, 85 and 86.
Wow.
They were probably, I don't know. I was going to say they probably were better in 86. I don't know. When you have Keith Lee, you're always pretty good. They had him in 85 and didn't in 86.
Yeah, no, that's
let me reel that one back.
It's hard to top, but
I probably need to reel back from yesterday too that Utah State's the best team the Tigers played. Matt was nice about it. He didn't crush me. He could have.
It was strong. It was strong. I like where your head's at, Brett. I like where your head's at.
I'm not trying to get to college basketball heaven.
I like where your head's at. I mean,
I'm just trying to get to college football.
Hey, you gotta have a strong take, and I like it.
A friend of mine texted me, Utah State ?
Hey, it's strong. You delivered it very strong.
They're good though.
They're really good. They are.
Now, are we sure that return game next year? We know it's a return game, right?
Yes, that's right.
Are we sure it will be in February around this time?
I do not think so. No, maybe I would have to go back. I don't remember.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. I don't want that stuck in November and December.
No, I'm with you. I just don't remember if we had the date for next year when it was original. I'm going to look that up during the break, but I just don't. I can't remember when that announcement was. Kind of what was announced.
You're in the coaching business, and all three are open. Where do you want to coach? South Carolina, LSU, or Oklahoma? And all equally funded.
All equally funded. I would probably
equally well funded.
I would probably go Oklahoma.
And give me LSU.
The
athletes in Texas, Houston.
Yeah. I would not want to be with all those other coaches and try to be fighting with all those other coaches about anything and everything. So
Mick Cronin, that was bold.
That was bold. I like that.
You
I like that. No, I like that one though. Because he certainly is always running hot at UCLA. So if you can get the budget right, I don't mind it.
Get the budget right, and don't get some weeping willow. You got to have a guy with a lot of confidence.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you got to decide what you want to do.
To Johnson, Mulkey, and Lane,
that's right.
They're not going to win a bashful contest.
No, they absolutely will not. So you got to figure out what you want to be and what you want to do kind of in the future. If you want to compete, I mean, you got to go out there and make a splashy hire and go out and get a guy that is that big name, that big voice, and kind of that big ego. And I think Cronin checks all of those boxes. So I don't hate that at all. But we need to get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk the Grizzlies. They're in action tonight in Denver against the Nuggets. We'll talk a little bit about that matchup, what is going on with the Grizzlies right now. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey y'all, it's the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, February 20th through the 22nd at the Agri Center. Come buy your new boat and make some memories at the lake this summer with family and friends. Premier dealers showcasing the newest ski boats, pontoons, fishing boats with huge show specials. Enter your chance to win daily door prizes. It's all at the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, February 20th through the 22nd. For more info, go to memphisboatshow.com. That's memphisboatshow.com.
At the Agri Center.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to baste or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
I can't tell you the number of times I've heard people tell me that they wanted to wait until spring to put their home on the market. This is Sheldon Rosengarten at Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and think about it. In March, April, when the azaleas bloom, so do the real estate signs. More competition. We've been in an unusual market in the last year, and to get an edge on other homes on the market, make sure and talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. I've developed a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in what you make and when. From the preparation before you go on the market to the presentation and keeping you informed every step of the way, it's rare that we cannot provide results. That's why people often say when you want the job done, call Shell Done at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Write it down or call me now, memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Cranking up pretty good already over here on I-40 eastbound as you come past Sycamore View Road, pushing on out towards Fayette County. Midtown traffic doing its thing right now, but that traffic increasing even more on I-40 around Chelsea. The 55 bridge looks like it's gotten a little bit heavier as well northbound, headed on over into Clinton County. Hey, check out the animals that are available for adoption. Where? At the Humane Society of Memphis, Shelby County. Go to their website and log on to memphishumane.org. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
So I tried to look it up during the break. The only thing I could find is that the return game for Utah State next year has not been announced for a date. So not sure when the when the date.
You got to get the Grizzlies dates first, and then
exactly.
It flows from that. But I hope it would be around the same time, maybe even Sunday afternoon. Although get enough Sunday afternoon already in the American.
Yeah, I think
that would be. Oh, this no. I want it same time next year. All-Star break, and we do something really crazy. We have a Tiger basketball game on a Saturday night.
That'd be nice. I mean, I can't remember a Saturday night Tiger basketball game. It's been a while since that,
especially in January, February, and March.
No, that's right. I'd love that. And obviously, I think Utah State has shown that they are clearly open to it. Memphis has certainly shown that they're open to playing these February games. So, yeah, I would love to have it around the same time and have it here. And, yeah, maybe line it up with the All-Star break and really set up a nice game for the Tigers, maybe a Saturday
7
night.
7:00 game on a Saturday night.
That'd be awesome. I'd sign up for that immediately. So, who knows? Maybe we need to start pushing that. We need to start getting out in front, pushing that, and maybe we can get that going next year.
Brian, I don't want anybody to confuse. We're getting ready to talk about the Grizzlies, and I don't want anybody when I kind of take a whack at the Grizzlies and the schedule and the losing. I don't want anybody to confuse that I'm not pro Tank. What I'm aggravated about is it still hadn't been wholesale enough. It needed to be wholesale last May. Ja, not hire Isolo, front office, Wexler, Kleiman, it's still not wholesale enough. That's the aggravation. I got from someone, it sounds like you're not for all the losing, that it's bothering you. It's bothering me that it was delayed. It's bothering me that I still don't know that we're totally committed to losing.
I would say they're pretty committed to losing based on the way that these games have played out the last couple of weeks. But yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, no, you wanted them to lose from the first game of the season on with the blow up in the off season. But
I fear that the reason why it wasn't done is they wanted everybody to re-up for Ja and Jaren one more time, and we'll do them like this in the middle of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was certainly part of it. I do think they wanted to try to run it back, one more time and really try to see if they get some. I think you can look at the signing of Ty Jerome. I don't really think, if the plan always in the offseason was at some point we're going to blow it up during the season, I don't think you go out and sign Ty Jerome to a 3-year deal, because he certainly, I'm sure, is not excited about being on a rebuilding team. But yeah, I mean, I think we're going to see a lot about where this goes and, what happens in the offseason. The offseason is going to be massive of kind of where does this franchise want to go in terms of rebuilding? How big of a overhaul is it in terms of Ja Morant, in terms of the head coach, in terms of, I feel like pretty confident that the front office will remain the same. But, there are still a lot of questions about what this team looks like on opening day next season, kind of relative to what they look like even today after the moves they made at the trade deadline.
Denver 1-0 against the Grizzlies this year. that was in Memphis back in November. The game was postponed, and then tonight and two more times the makeup game. I think that's made up on Wednesday the 18th. Is that right?
I think that's right, yeah.
Wednesday the 18th of March.
I think.
Or February. February.
February.
Yeah, 2 weeks from,
yeah,
a week from today.
That's right.
Coming back to the break.
I think that is right. I'm not sure. I think that's right.
I'm not either.
I don't have it pulled up, and obviously the schedule that I have in here, the physical copy of the schedule I have in here, does not have that the makeup for the delayed date. So
I'm not sure when it's made up.
Yeah, I know. We had that news.
We clearly aren't sure.
Yeah, no, we're very clearly not. Let's see. It looks like March 18th is that makeup game against Denver.
Okay, well, March 18th on my schedule says the Knicks.
Yeah, I believe they've moved that. I think they've moved games around with the Knicks because let's see, Knicks on April 1st, which is a game supposed to be against Dallas on the preseason schedule.
Okay,
and then Dallas on March 12th. So now you have a back-to-back on Thursday, March 12th, and Friday, March 13th. Home against Dallas and at Detroit.
See, this is why I'm still so resentful at the not resentful at the Winter Olympics, but I'm a little out on the Winter Olympics because I'm so resentful at the ice and snow. I'm still mad at it.
Yeah, no, Brett, again, like that shut down my argument the last couple of days about pro Winter Olympics because hey, I'm with you. Like I hate the ice. I've hated the ice the last couple of weeks.
Devastating.
Oh, it definitely is.
It got the freezing rain.
Yeah.
We were so lucky, and kind of that band that came over us. It is devastation.
Yeah,
there's not a tree in town that doesn't have a fresh cutting on it.
Wow!
If it's still standing, you can see high or low or both where a cut's been made.
Yeah. Wow, that's really really sad stuff, and it's going to be a long build back for Oxford after that.
The Winter Olympics. We haven't gone over the sports to see if we participated because I went over the list.
Yeah,
participated every single one of them.
Yeah, no, it's some sports out there, and certainly I've never snowboarded or skied or anything like that.
Anything more unsafe than me in most of these Winter Olympic sports.
I'd have to agree with that because it's a lot of downhill and
me on skis with a gun.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I can't shoot a gun.
That's right. Yeah.
Normal.
That's right. Now on skis and in the snow and ice.
That would be wrong.
No, that would be really bad. But yeah, very rarely have I been on ice skates, and it has not been a pretty experience whenever I have.
I never
on
have
ice
been.
skates. Really.
Roller skates sent me to retirement. I couldn't stay upright.
Yeah, no, it's I like ice skating.
My whole body was one bruise from falling around, stumbling around.
Well, that's why you have to get the little things to push around with you to stay
my favorite aunt. She told me roller skating, and finally just said, "Let's check these back in and go. This is a really bad idea."
That's too bad. That is too bad. But yeah, no, I've only ice skated a couple times. I'm not very good at it, but I've enjoyed the Winter Olympics. And today we got the men's hockey starting with a couple of games. The second one just ended between Sweden and Italy, and then tomorrow.
Any of the hockey live?
Both the games today are.
Is it
live.
On now?
It just ended. It was on USA, I believe. But yeah, it just ended, and then USA tomorrow afternoon, I believe, at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon will be live. So
is this pushing poor Darian just to live there and the late news on real late? I haven't noticed. Has the 10 o'clock news been at 10 or later?
I have not noticed. I'll be honest with you. I've watched a lot during the day and not as much during the primetime coverage. I talked a little bit with Darian today. We didn't get that far into the conversation about it, so I really don't know how much it's affecting the people over Action News 5.
After the snow, he was there.
Oh boy, yeah, no, it's been a wild couple.
All right,
of
I'm
weeks.
on USA now, and I don't see any live action.
Like I said, it just ended. They're done with it now. Yeah, we're on a commercial. I think we have it on USA in here. It's either it was on our TV in here. And it's on commercial now. It just wrapped up. So it's done. They're done for the day. Everything live is wrapped up now for the day.
Does the curling do it for you like it does a lot of people?
I love the curling, Brett. I've been locked in. You can ask Landon. I've been. Yesterday
I took a shot
was
at it today with somebody.
Hey,
I said it was horseshoes on ice.
Hey, very very similar. But yesterday the mixed doubles gold medal match, Team USA was in it against Sweden, maybe. I don't remember who they were playing in the gold medal match. But man, it was awesome. And then today the men's started. I think tomorrow women's start. So yeah, dude, I'm all in on the curling.
Curling looks like it would be the sport of the Winter Olympics that I least could be injured.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, those the stones are heavy. I mean, you don't want one of those stones coming in on your.
That's what they call them, the stones.
That's right. They call them stones. A little different from your stones, I'll tell you that.
I got you.
But they do refer to them as stones.
Tumbling dice.
No, definitely not. But I'm trying to go through all the Olympic events. I would say I'd say curling's probably the one that you'd be the safest in. Maybe.
All right, what about is it the two-man luge or bobsled?
It's luge, yeah, it's luge, yeah.
No way.
No.
There's nobody I trust to be the other cat on that.
No, Brett. The jokes write themselves. It's a visual. It really is.
I end up. I mean, that's feeding to the rest of my life.
Thank you. Speaking of those type of events, I don't know if you and I just saw it today. It happened a couple days ago. The United States bobsled team. I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if this was a training. I don't know if this was a qualifier. I don't know if this was the actual thing. But you've seen bobsled before. Like they all run, and then you got to jump in, and then you kind of go down
and yell and holler
as a team. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So the USA a couple days ago, the first guy jumps in, the second guy jumps in, but he kind of takes a tumble, and everybody behind him is just wiped out. I mean, nobody gets on. It's just a one-man bobsled rolling down the track. I mean, it was something. I mean, one guy flipped over. It was crazy.
Well, that's automatic DQ, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I think you got to have everybody in there.
The jockey being
That's right. Yeah, no, I think you got to have all four in there. So that was kind of
as we speak.
Interesting Olympics.
This is the longest I've had it on the Olympics.
How about that?
Since
I love
it started.
I'm
there now.
They're about to show some luge. It says live. Maybe we still got some live going on.
Do we trust the live plug?
I don't. Again, like I've really just been watching during the day, so everything's been live. So
now at night, if they showed a lot of up close and personal around town in Milan and Cortina,
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really watched at night.
I used to love those stories.
Yeah.
Bob Beatty and Frank Gifford would often do those stories, and they were sloshed.
Yeah. That's great. I love that. I know there was a story yesterday. Speaking of the curling, I think it was the USA team. They got stuck behind a wreck on the way to their, I believe, gold medal curling match, and they got out of the car and walked to the whatever building there, and they had to come in through
like us trying to get to work in ice and snow.
That's right, and they had to go in through like the spectators entrance, and hey, we're here, and get down on the ice. So.
Who's the play-by-play and analyst for hockey?
I did not catch who it was today. I was very busy. I was listening to it, and they did a good job. I think Olczyk is the color guy for it. Eddie Olczyk.
Isn't Stanley Cup now all on ABC and ESPN?
I believe so. Yeah.
I don't know who does it.
I don't. But this is the NBC team.
Isn't Olczyk who also does horse racing?
He does do horse racing. He's on the Kraken home and away games. He's their main color guy. That's right.
So you catch a lot of.
Oh yeah, I love him. He's great. And I don't think he helps out with TNT anymore. He was last year helping out, I believe, with TNT.
Maybe not a more odd resume than hockey expert and horse racing.
It's crazy, but it gets me fired up, Brett. Whenever and you know me, Brett. I'm really only watching the Kentucky Derby when it comes to horse racing. And so when I see him, I'm like, all right, my guy.
You watch if we stay in contention for Triple Crown.
I watched the Kentucky Derby, Brett, and I can't make any promises for the other horse
racing
Preakness,
events. No Belmont.
I can't make any promises for any of the other events. Maybe, but it gets tough for me.
There's no way I could do the sport they're doing right now.
Hey, good for them. Go USA. I hope they win a medal.
Go team. Go.
But no, it's not the sport for me. The single luge though, that one's interesting. I don't really know how I haven't gotten the luge down. Like, I don't know how the scoring works. I don't know how it operates. It is, but like I don't know how. Like, obviously they're moving their body to try to.
I can't stand judge sports.
Yeah,
I like a scoreboard, a clock. I want to be able to know.
Yeah. So I've enjoyed the Winter Olympics. They've been a blast.
On this ice skating, great double act. So I don't know.
Oh, the quad god. We were talking about him yesterday. He did a backflip.
How do you judge the compulsories? I mean, they're just out there kind of going slow.
Yeah, I judge them. I mean, I trust the judges, I guess, for these Olympics because I don't know anything. So I guess I have to trust them. The one I love, and I was watching it earlier today.
I'll never trust the Olympics after 72 basketball, and that was with a scoreboard.
That's fair. Yeah, that is with a scoreboard. The half pipe. I was watching snowboarding half pipe earlier today. They're going up and hitting the flips and stuff, and oh man, that is good stuff. So Olympics, they've been fun to watch, but we'll see what it looks like for the men's hockey team as they go. They start things out tomorrow. But we need to get to another break. When we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Cordova, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-size courts, 3 high school-size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
When you want your favorite drink without the big box hassle, you need City Center Liquor in Lakeland, your locally owned shop for wine, spirits, beer, and all your tobacco needs. With a friendly staff that knows their stuff, you'll get great recommendations, fast service, and the hometown feel you love. So whether you're stocking up for the weekend or on the hunt for something new to try, City Center Liquor has you covered. City Center Liquor, 9774 Shady Village Lane, just off Highway 70 in Lakeland. Local, friendly, and always fully stocked. For a 5% discount, tell them Sports 56 sent you.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With over 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Meet Morgan Jones. Morgan is about to step into a world unknown to most, thanks to Progressive's Renters Insurance, a place of fresh linens and turn-down service. You see, Morgan temporarily vacated her apartment and has gone to a hotel because a pipe burst in her apartment. A pipe that made her sense of reality and apartment ceiling all come crashing down. Luckily, Morgan checked into Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home and office. Protect babies, pets, new homes, old homes, employees, friends, loved ones, and you. Just call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 for the Memphis Mold Inspector.
Join NFL and Ole Miss football legend Archie Manning for an evening of inspiring stories on leadership, perseverance, and greatness. Don't miss Archie Manning at the Heindel Center in Senatobia, Mississippi on Friday, February 20th. Tickets are on sale now at heindelcenter.org.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish they
Big Daddy. Hello, Big Brown.
It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy. You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brad, I think we should switch things up a little bit today and have you go first.
I'm ready, and I hinted at this number earlier, but it is 14. That's what Detroit won 2 years ago, 14-68 for the Pistons. I guess that's the model for the Grizzlies. We looked it up, Miss Bennett. It was a longer model than we're ever going to take. Mm-hmm. But top of the draft this year, trade, etc., for picks for next year. In 2 or 3 years, this turnaround, we'll turn some of these frowns upside down, won't we?
Yeah, I think so. I think, we've kind of talked a lot about the kind of 3-year model, I guess we could call it, of hey, in 3 years, if you're talking about, being in that mix of being a 3, 4, 5 seed, I think, you're in a really good spot. And then you can kind of talk about, hey, where do you go from here? But yeah, once you get into that kind of
next year's 14 wins.
Yeah, I mean, it might, it
sure could be.
It could be, but
bunch of young guys.
Sure.
Injury or two.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, how do you turn this around and what does it look like? Do you have faith in some of the guys that you already have on the roster that can kind of make this a quicker window? I think a lot is certainly up in the air, but if you can be kind of back in contention, back in the playoffs in 3 years, and then then you're really, really moving forward and really talking about the rebuild being complete and able to start competing. So I think we should be talking about a 3-year model with this Grizzlies team. My big number today is the number 40. Mentioned Victor Wembanyama earlier. Last night, scored 40 points in 26 minutes of action. That is the fewest minutes played by an NBA player in a 40-point game since Houston's Sleepy Floyd had 40 points in 24 minutes on February 26, 1991. So a very efficient night last night for Victor Wembanyama against the Lakers.
You know why. I've told you this. I think I've told it.
Okay.
One summer in Washington. It was the year after Georgetown had won it all.
Okay.
In 84 in Seattle, Patrick Ewing and Sleepy Floyd worked on Capitol Hill for all people. Pete Domenici from New Mexico.
Wow.
I still hadn't figured that out.
Okay.
I guess they could work wherever they wanted to. And they were so nice. And remember, Patrick Ewing was close to getting the Grizzlies job one time.
Yeah.
And I wanted him to get it because I threw out on there. You think he'd remember me?
I love that.
But both Patrick Ewing and Sleepy Floyd, the most normal, nicest people.
That's great.
And didn't have camera phones, like now, but everybody goes to Washington to work in the summer, carries some kind of camera with them. They took pictures with everybody on the hill that summer.
That's great. I love that. That's good.
Love Sleepy Floyd.
You don't know a lot of times, some of these.
You think Pat Ewing would remember me?
I hope so, Brett. I'll leave it at that. I hope so.
I'd be disappointed.
I think you would be.
Not only they had just won it, they were getting ready to, or Patrick Ewing was getting ready to go to Los Angeles to be on the Olympic team. They were bigger than the Speaker of the House on the Hill that summer.
Wow, that is incredible.
For Pete Domenici from New Mexico. I still hadn't figured that one out.
That's crazy, yeah. I saw Patrick Ewing once at Briarcrest actually for one of those tournaments where a bunch of big teams
when he was head coach.
When he was at Georgetown. Yeah, it didn't work out for him at Georgetown, but it's cool to see him. Being at Briarcrest and seeing Patrick Ewing just sitting on the baseline.
You know, when we rattle off NBA big men, he too often, he and Akeem both too often get left off.
You're right, man. I hate it because both those guys are just so dominant, so much fun.
Just a long time ago now.
Yeah, time keeps on ticking, and you kind of forget about some of those guys when you start making these lists. But we need to go ahead and get to our final break of this hour. When we return, we're going to talk some college basketball. Kevin Sweeney's going to join us again. We're out early today. Ole Miss and Alabama. They've got a game starting at 6 o'clock tonight, so we'll have that pregame show starting at 5:30. So it'll be a shorter segment with Kevin Sweeney. Then we'll get to Mo's Crunch Time before we get out of here for Ole Miss basketball. But don't go anywhere. Kevin Sweeney talks some college hoops. He comes your way next. Crunch Time is brought to you by Humdinger's Corporate Catering. Enjoy tacos made with crunchy slaw, grilled fish, and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. Find out more, call Jenny Nash at 901-606-3172.
Cleanliness is next to impossible unless you call High-Low Commercial Services. For 15 years, High-Low's dedicated team has been cleaning offices throughout the Mid-South. High-Low's janitorial services are customized to your business. Clean once, quarterly, or ongoing, and get the JRD guarantee. We clean until you're satisfied. High-Low Commercial Services, the biggest and the best in the Mid-South. Visit MrCleanTeam.com. That's MrCleanTeam, MrCleanTeam.com for High-Low Commercial Services.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
This traffic report brought to you by City Center Liquor just off Highway 70 in Lakeland. Local, friendly, and always fully stocked. For a 5% discount, tell them Sports 56 sent you.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. T-Knight's out here trying to work with a couple of accidents. It's busy as expected with that volume in both directions on 240 east and westbound here up by Walnut Grove and Poplar. It's heavier than it was trying to get out of Midtown just in the last few minutes, especially on I-40 around that 101 connector as you head up past Watkins. It's still moving right now south of Memphis. Just be careful with the radar on 55 traveling down through certain parts of DeSoto County. Valentine's Day just around the corner. Shop local right now at Weimer's Jewelry, conveniently located 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we've got about 30 minutes left in today's show. Again, a reminder, we've got Ole Miss and Alabama basketball. We'll have the complete coverage of tonight's game, tip-off at 6, but we'll have that pregame show starting at 5:30. But we got to talk some college basketball, and joining us like he does every single Wednesday afternoon, it's Kevin Sweeney from Sports Illustrated. Go follow him on Twitter at CBB_Central. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to get to, but I mentioned that game tonight between Alabama and Ole Miss down in Oxford. Obviously, one of the big stories around college basketball has been Charles Bediako and the new ruling that he is ineligible for Alabama. What did you make of that? What do you make of the response, the reaction from Nate Oates, from others? What do you make of this whole situation now that we have the news he is no longer eligible for Alabama?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I think happy that a level of sanity can be maintained in terms of the structure of the offseason. I don't think this should be taken as a forever win by the NCAA, but it's something that gives them a little bit of time to continue to work on getting bills either through Congress or some form of collective bargaining that gives them an opportunity to have stability. So a win for the NCAA, a win for sanity, a loss for Alabama. I don't think Nate Oates really cares what people think of him, but he did little for his public image with the way this whole thing played out. A little surprised, as you look back on it, how aggressive Alabama was and critical of the NCAA, of the SEC, of its commissioner, Greg Sankey. But I think that's somewhat like a changing of the times in college sports where the schools feel all powerful and aren't going to back down to just about anybody if they feel like they have a chance to help their own bottom line at the end of the day.
Kevin, it was alarming to see some of the recall from Bama. Look, I know a lot of people were mad if they perceive Sankey as going against them when they do pay 1/16 of his salary. But I think he stood up for right is right, and I'm not going to try to defend wrong. I can see that. But there was a columnist at AL.com that wrote about Bama leaving the SEC over it, just going, kind of their own, being their own world. Have they heard about scheduling difficulties if you try that?
I mean, I don't really buy it. Look, I think people, especially at the biggest brands, have a different understanding now of their value. And I think Alabama understands that its value on the open market would be massive. But I also just don't think that's a feasible option right now. And I would imagine Cooler has to fail over the course of the next week, 10 days, months, etc.
Yeah, it definitely, I hope it does at the very least, and we can move on from this. The big story on the court, at least earlier this week, was that Kansas and Arizona game, Arizona undefeated, going to Fog Allen. Darren Peterson, he doesn't play, flu-like symptoms. He tried to go out and warm up, ultimately did not play, but it was still Kansas that got the win. What did you make of that win by the Jayhawks, especially without Darren Peterson on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, the team has grown up in immense ways from where they were in November. To credit the self, but I mean, Melvin Townsend, Flory Baduga, these guys are just soft. They're super tough, they're super competitive, and they're not the most talented team on the floor most nights, but they have a pretty good recipe. And you can tell Bill Self genuinely loves coaching them. I still think their best version is with Darren Peterson, and it's obviously frustrating that we kind of circle back and end up in chaos again after it looked like maybe he had turned a corner a couple games about the cramping, et cetera. At the end of the day, if you're Kansas, you're always going to be elite at home. And I think what they've proven over the last couple of weeks is they have a little bit of teeth away from Allen Fieldhouse, too. So that's a pretty good recipe.
Yeah. On Selection Sunday, is he part of the team or does he check out?
I fully expect him to continue to play. Look, I can't speak for where things are at, how delicate it may be, but my understanding is that if he wanted to check out, he already would have. And he clearly wants to play. It just may be on his own terms.
This is a little like Boogie Flan last year, and after the finger injury, everybody thought he was gone. Then he was back and pretty productive for Arkansas.
Yeah, right. And look, I think with Darren, the thing you always forget is, like, he's really lacked his usual explosiveness for a lot of this season. And I think you started to see him get it back. And now we have the latest malady, and we'll see how that changes things. But I think a healthy Darren Peters is still one of the 3 to 5 best players in college basketball, and an absolute game changer for Kansas, even if they've found a winning recipe without him on the floor.
Last night, a big win for Miami over North Carolina, as North Carolina was just coming off the big win over Duke. What did you make first of North Carolina and that win over Duke, and then last night Miami winning at home over North Carolina?
It sort of just feels like this time of year, the home court impact really ratchets up. And I think you've seen that across the country with some of the upsets. Certainly at the top with Arizona, UConn losing at the Garden against St. John's. And then, obviously with Carolina here, on both sides of it, right? Will their way to a comeback against Duke on their own court, and then kind of the ultimate letdown spot against Miami, and didn't play great. I think Miami's a good team. Miami desperately needed this game, though, because of their resume. They didn't have a top-tier win, and impressive that they were able to find a way to get it and, take a big step towards the NCAA tournament in year one.
Kevin, way back at the start of this show about 2 hours ago, we do top and not top story of the day, and I said I thought in this tightly compacted American conference that Memphis should emerge and win this. Who do you think should emerge and win this, and why wouldn't we expect Penny Hardaway to come out on top in this dreadful league?
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously they've gotten some help with Tulsa coming back to the pack, losing South Florida over the weekend. I do think as you come down the stretch, we've talked about it all year, that it's not going to take 15-3 to win this league. It's going to be a grind, and if Memphis and Penny are doing what they should continue to improve throughout the year, and they're still the most talented team in the league. So I don't think it's unrealistic. I do think it's going to be a challenge, and I think Tulsa's really good. I think South Florida's really good. By American quote-unquote mid-major standards, they're very good basketball teams. But obviously, like, at the end of the day, you have to find a way, if you're Memphis, in most of these games, compared to teams that have far smaller budgets and commitment in winning a college basketball tournament.
And in a lot of these arenas, now, tomorrow night at North Texas, that will be an exception. That will be a tough place to play. But a lot of these are pretty sleepy arenas.
No question, right? And I think that's sort of what the frustrating thing is of watching the highs and lows of this group, is that you do feel the opportunity. You don't see these ridiculous environments you're walking into. And I do think even when they're down, Memphis gets people's best shot. That's just sort of the reality of being the big bad bully of the league. But that's also something you should relish if you're Memphis, if you're Penny. And I don't know how well they've responded to it, although it does feel like they've maybe played a little bit better here lately.
What is the pound for pound, bottom up, top down, best league to go, toughest league to go on the road in? What's the toughest road atmosphere, number one conference this year?
Man, I think the Big 12 and the Big 10 neck and neck. I would say probably the Big 10, just the quantity of them. Nebraska is a phenomenal place to play this year, right? That's different than where it's been. Obviously Michigan State, unbelievably difficult. Illinois, very difficult, although they got caught last night by Wisconsin. Purdue, unbelievable atmosphere. Indiana, unbelievable atmosphere. So it is close, but I would probably lean towards the Big 10.
What in the world is going on at Oregon? All that money Phil Knight has spent. He came up short again in football, and now dead last in the Big 10. What happened?
Yeah, injury is a huge part. Nate Biddle's been out at stretches. Jackson Chelstad, their star point guard, has been sidelined for the majority of conference play. And this is not a team that had a ton of depth to begin with. They were a top-heavy roster with those two returners, and hoped to tool it properly with the role players around them. And that has not worked obviously injuries don't help that. And when you put guys who are not that talented in bigger roles than they probably should be in, it can get ugly in a hurry.
You talked about the Big 12. TCU got the big upset win last night against Iowa State at home. What do you make of this TCU team? Because they're such a weird team to look at in terms of these results. They have losses against New Orleans, Notre Dame, Utah, but then they've got a couple of big-time wins against Florida and Iowa State. How do you view the TCU?
Yeah, you're 100% right. This has been a real roller coaster of a season for Jamie Dixon. I love their side. I really do. I mean, I think David Punch and Xavier Edmond, that gives you a look that a lot of people don't really have up front, to have two really good, really skilled bigs. And I think that's allowed them to hang in against some of these physical teams. You think of the most physical teams in college basketball, Florida and Iowa State right at the top of the list.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a secret that that's one of the reasons they've been able to hang in. And I think it puts it on the onus on their guard to go make plays and make shots. And they've been very high and very low at points, but yesterday they made enough of them and played their way back into the NCAA tournament conversation.
We mentioned the game tonight between Alabama and Ole Miss. Several really good SEC games tonight, but kind of looking at the conference as a whole, last night some good games. Arkansas on the road just absolutely just blew out LSU. This LSU team right now 14-10 overall, 2-9 in the conference. What are you seeing with this team? Do you see LSU maybe making a move at the end of the season from Matt McMahon?
I think it's trending that way. It's not the cheapest decision in the world, and that matters, especially in this climate. But I think if Matt was real with himself, he'd understand that, we don't necessarily even have to have made the tournament this year, but we can't be embarrassing. And Arkansas was an embarrassment. They've gotten popped a couple times, which look kind of completely uncompetitive. Those are the types of games that preempt a move, especially with the specter of Will Wade hovering over Baton Rouge.
Bryant, do we do it? Do we tell Kevin an hour ago when we were talking just SEC with our friend Blake Lovell, who I threw out for the next head coach at LSU? Do we do it?
Go
or
for
do
it.
we want to keep it to where he doesn't think he's on with crazy people?
Hey, look. First off, that "we" word you're throwing around a lot. I don't know if I like that one. I'm not running from it, but hey, I'm not going to stop you from throwing it out there.
All right, Kevin, here's my choice. And it's fully funded. It's fully supported administration at LSU, and they've got to get somebody that can stand on that announcement stage with Kiffin, Mulkey, and Johnson, and even the gymnastics coach. I'm sorry I left that out. And we know how aggravated he is about some of the situation and things with his job now. You go big ego, you call Mick Cronin.
Yeah, right. I think Mick would have a hard time leaving the sunny beaches of Southern California.
They got sunshine in Baton Rouge. No beaches.
They got beaches, though.
Yeah, different sunshine.
You can go to Grand Isle. They got white beaches at Grand Isle.
I'm not ruling out anything with Mick, right? He's in a perpetual state of unhappiness. That is the type of thing that causes real shakeups. I don't know that it's LSU, but if he told me he moved this offseason, I wouldn't be shocked.
And he's going to be running hot at the end of this weekend, off all week, but then brutal trip to Michigan for Wolverines and Michigan State.
Yeah, no doubt, right? And those are the trips to get really challenging. I think it's part of the reason the league is so difficult for these West Coast teams now. I think across the board, I was talking to someone, maybe more the traditional Big Ten footprint, who had worked in the SEC, and he said, I don't think I recognize how much more taxing the travel would be, how much more taxing the schedule, right? The SEC, if you remember, does have a pretty consistent Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday cadence, and Big Ten doesn't. The Big Ten wants to play every night. There's going to be nights where you're short rest, and you're going to have quote-unquote schedule losses in that league. And I think certainly making that trip to the Michigan schools across the country would qualify as a schedule loss.
Okay, Kevin, since Bryant ran from it
I didn't run from it. I just said it's your idea. I mean, good Lord.
You're not going to text me when we get through today and go, I thought I was on with serious people.
The carousel has a chance to be really wacky this year. I don't think there's maybe the normal answers you expect. And so, yeah, the more out there the idea, the better. And Minka's not the most out there idea I've heard for a job like LSU.
Kevin, when you look at the Big Ten, since we're talking about it, obviously Michigan has been so good all year long, but you look at kind of these three teams behind them, Illinois, Purdue, Michigan State. Who's the best out of, and throw in Nebraska. Let's do those four, Illinois, Purdue, Michigan State, Nebraska. Who is the best out of that four? Who do you trust the most out of that four?
I mean, I love Illinois. I still do. I was there last night when they got, surprised by Wisconsin. That was a horrible matchup for them. But without their two most athletic guards and Stojakovic and Kylan Boswell, to have to deal with Wisconsin's backcourt was a challenge. They just weren't ready defensively. They had 6 healthy bodies. So, that's the reality, I think, of where they're at the moment is, they have really struggled with health, but Boswell should be back as soon as this weekend, from what I've been told. With him, elite defense, elite rim pressure. To me, they're a ton above everybody in the league other than Michigan.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I was saying it earlier. I mean, Illinois has reached the point for me that they're must watch. I either record it or I watch it live. I really like this roster with Illinois. Last thing for you before we let you go, we talked about Arizona earlier. Looking at their schedule now after that loss against Kansas, really tough stretch here over the next 3 games. Home game against Texas Tech, home game against BYU, and then on the road against Houston next Saturday. What does this next 3-game stretch look like for Arizona?
Yeah, I thought they played well for the vast majority of that game.
Yeah. Things
just kind of fell apart on them late, and I think the big difference was that Jaden Bradley, who's been so good down the stretch of games, just didn't really have it. And I think Arizona's got the highest floor in the country. You wake up and you play Arizona, even if they're worse, they're pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they keep winning. I have no panic with where they're at. But, no, their schedule was unbelievably backloaded. And that was nice for them to run up the win. But they're gonna take some punches here over the next couple of weeks, even in wins. And it'll be interesting to see how they respond.
Yeah, it will be a lot of fun to watch some of those games. Well, Kevin, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll talk to you again next Wednesday.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Kevin Sweeney joining us every single Wednesday to talk some college basketball and some really fun games coming up on the schedule tonight and certainly into the weekend. I mentioned earlier, we're out a little bit early today. Ole Miss hosting Alabama, 6 o'clock tip, so we'll have the pregame show starting at 6:30 tonight. Full pregame and postgame coverage of tonight's game against Alabama. So
you disassociated yourself from me.
Well, Brett, I mean, I didn't want to.
It's a time to run. That's
look,
fine.
I wasn't running because I said I kind of like it. Like I
don't mind it. Throw me overboard. I don't mind it.
I was not trying to throw you over. I just wanted to make it very clear this was a you idea in case Kevin hated it. But
I did wrongly drag you into the week.
You did.
So.
I mean, because you could have said Brian agreed with it, but you kind of made it sound like this was a combined
team effort.
Yes, that we
almost like you thought of the idea.
That's right.
And I just jumped in.
And I wanted you to have all the credit for it because I really don't hate it. I mean, I kind of would love to see Mick Cronin at LSU. I think that would be. I think it would make things really, really fun. But before we get to an early Moe's Crunch Time, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsor. It's Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today. Check out those brand new models like the Range Rover Sport, the Range Rover Velar, and the Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility, with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to jaguarbluffcity.com. But head out there, test drive these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince, for Bluff City Jaguar. Let's go ahead and get to an early Moe's Crunch Time.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started. spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest Crunch Time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries, its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
Goodbye! Hello, high school.
It's obviously Crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need catering? Moe's Taco Truck is always ready to cater for you. Just give Jenny Nash a call, 901-606-3172. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco Crunch Time emergencies. Well, Brett, what I learned today is that pretty much everybody going in the NBA tonight as we get ready for the All-Star break, which is this weekend and will stretch into next week. But we know the Grizzlies will play tonight. A handful of other teams that have already been in tank mode, including the Utah Jazz. It'll be interesting after all the talk over the last two games of them sitting and resting their star players, if we'll see the same tonight as they play the Sacramento Kings. That might be a tank off of a game. Obviously, the Grizzlies in a similar situation tonight against the Denver Nuggets. We've already seen it, but get ready for it, especially out of the All-Star break. It's going to be tanking all over the NBA.
We've got to monitor these over, under, and tank offs.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
Future tanking reference.
No, definitely, absolutely. Just keep it in your back pocket, right?
What I learned, at one time, Oklahoma City was on their way to an undefeated season. They were on their way to a 70-win season. They're only 3 up in the all-important loss column to be the 1 seed in the West. They're still going to win the West.
Sure.
But they're tied in the all-important loss column with Detroit for 1 overall.
That's right.
So much for all those October, November takes.
Well, it sounds like what we did around the Dodgers. Dodgers are never going to win a game, or never going to lose games, and they're going to
right at money time.
And yeah, they won when it needed to be won with the World Series. Well, what I could have done without is this story that's now coming out about Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors and their breakup and kind of what led to it. It sounds like there was a meeting between head coach and player that got a little sideways. Supposedly, Steve Kerr brought in Jonathan Kuminga to talk about him missing a team event, and also supposedly, I guess, his family in the family room taking a little too much food, and people were complaining around the family room. And supposedly that conversation got really heated, and basically both sides were airing everything out. And that was pretty much the point of no return between Golden State and Jonathan Kuminga. Now he's with Atlanta, and we'll see what he can do with that team.
Boy, I wish he had a hit curve. That'd just been great.
Took a jump.
I could have done without this. The 9th year for a Montana linebacker. The NC doesn't even blush at their hypocrisy with all this, because in their minds, they are the good guys. And when you've established yourself as the good guy, then the good guy can never do anything hypocritical or wrong.
That is true.
9th year for a Montana linebacker.
That's crazy. That is insane. I don't really care what the situation is. It'd be very rare for me to say, yeah, that guy deserves a 9th year. That is just insane. Where are you beaming tonight?
I'm headed to the Pavilion to see the Bediaco Les Tide against Chris Beard's really struggling Ole Miss team. A year after, in his second year going to the Sweet 16, this team is bad. Nate Oates, he wants back in that Final Four, and he showed that he would do anything to get there.
Yeah, he absolutely did. So that one could be an interesting one tonight in Oxford. How about beam me to the game that starts here in about 30 minutes or so? Florida on the road against Georgia could be a really interesting game. Feels like Florida has really taken it to that next level. We'll see what it looks like tonight on the road against Georgia.
Scoreboard watching tonight in the American, if anybody really does that. I don't think Tiger fans are very interested in the Tigers, much less what's going on around the rest of the American, but it could really be a lot of changes after tonight's play, and then Tigers play tomorrow night. Cocktail party on the hardwood tonight, Florida and Georgia. We will watch that. Stanford at Boston College in an ACC
How about
game.
that? Who would have thought?
Stanford against Boston College in an ACC game.
Who would have thought? It certainly wouldn't have been
Cal
me.
at Syracuse, for that matter, in the ACC.
That is insane. Yeah, it's hard to believe some of
It's
these
a long
matchups.
way from Tobacco Road, isn't
It sure is. But yeah, I mean, tonight could be a big night in the American. You look at some of these matchups and some of the teams. You got Temple, 3 losses in the conference on the road. You've got Tulsa at home, South Florida on the road. So could be an interesting night around the American. But it will be a lot of fun tonight with all the college basketball, all the NBA that we have tonight. A lot to watch. Obviously, Olympic coverage. The Grizzlies going later tonight against the Denver Nuggets. So a ton of hoops to watch later tonight. But that's all the time we have. Again, we're going to get you out there to that pregame show between Ole Miss and Alabama as the Rebels at home. Again, as Brett said, hosting the Bediaco-less Alabama Crimson Tide. Hopefully a fun one down in Oxford. But we'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your night.